Hey, good evening, everybody. Welcome back. This is we had that fun show with Anthony last night. I can tell you that Anthony finally sold that Swamp Thing artwork after the show. Whoever he was getting that counter offer stuff going on, it is sold. So we don't have to see that piece of art ever again. It is gone to a new home. But yeah, I'm sorry for some of you. You were disappointed that I did not pick a piece of art from Jason this week. And yeah, Jason will be forever, well, not forever banned, at least for the rest of 2025. But I can guarantee you, I will refrain from using any artwork from Jason's collection for at least another month. How's that? Was it Naomi Campbell, Marcus? I don't think, that's a question up for debate that I don't think will ever be answered. But Anthony has his strong opinions, as do all of you in the chat, and we're all welcome to our own opinions. We don't like to squash anybody's view of what a pretty woman, who she may be or not be. So yes, you've got that absolutely right, Corey. And hey, Corey, as a matter of fact, I didn't realize this, but I actually have some artwork to open today that I got from north of the border. Somebody that I think you ordered some artwork from, and we'll open that up in a little bit when I get through a few segments here. But I bet you have some stuff that you could do and show off as well. You probably already posted it to CAF. But anyways, a lot of stuff to go through today. Not only opening packages, we've got a weekly flip this week from Jason, Southern Comic Geek, and a few other video clips to play. Even one from OAX, which was pretty fun that Tom McDonald put together that I think everybody's going to enjoy. A little bit of interviewing with some guests, as well as some commissions picked up that were pre-OAX pieces that were filmed. And it's a really great kind of montage of images from several people who attended OAX. But speaking of shows, we're going to get things started off with IC3 today. I've got the showrunner, the founder of that show, and Mr. Matt Sardo in the green room. So let's bring him on and welcome him to the show. Wow, I didn't know you were, you dressed up as Batman when the sun goes down.
Yeah, no, I was very excited. I kind of cleaned out my closet, and this was like the shirt I wore all the time. And I was sitting way in the back, and I was like, "Oh yes, it's so comfortable," and it's one of my favorite shirts because like the '89 Batman. I was working at a local comic book shop in upstate New York, and like that changed everything in my like world, and it was an exciting time. So I'm a big fan of the '89 Batman.
Well, it's very nice. You put Ben Affleck to shame in that outfit right there, I can tell you. But that's cool. I mean, we all have our favorite shirts. I mean, I am wearing my what is it? Be excellent to one another shirt. So, I mean, we get this, you see it, and it just feels right to wear. But yeah, typically I've got an X-Men related stuff, but tonight, yeah, I'm okay with this. So you're here for talk about IC3, and it is barely 2 weeks more. What is it? It's really Friday evening, right? Everything kicks off the night before on the 14th.
Yeah, 2 weeks. 2 weeks from now. I mean, this 2 weeks from now, I'll be dropping everything off at the school and setting up, and then Friday morning, all the tables will be all ready, and the artists will start rolling in and setting up what they're going on, and then we have like I think at like 3:30 we have like a professional panel of all the creators that want to be part of it. We're gonna do like a round table on Friday and just kind of talk about the indie comic scene, the industry, and try to see like what we can do to kind of help creators out and you know kind of come up just kind of a brainstorming session with all the creators on Friday. And then at the hotel, the Marriott at Yale, like we got drink and draw from 8 to 10, and then I'm going to bed because Saturday is going to be a crazy busy day at the show. And yeah, then we got the show on Saturday, which is awesome. And then we have an after party that is kind of started some mythos building from there. Kind of almost in the vein of OAX. And I know there's some people that got sandwiches at like 4 o'clock in the morning at OAX on Saturday, and I'm still jealous of those guys.
I was not one of them. I was fast asleep. Although I know a lot of people hung out at the fire pit in the back of the hotel there for a long time that day. But I got to ask. I mean, we haven't had a chance to talk. We've been in a lot of meetings for the last couple of months. But I mean, and I know that you've worked at a comic shop. But as far as your passion in the indie community, I mean, where did that start, and how did that lead to IC3 as a show?
When I owned my store in Chicago, you're always thinking about, like, how to generate business and how to create traffic and get people through the door, and one of
Mhm.
the things I realized early in Chicago is that weekend before the Super Bowl in Chicago, it's super cold, and there's also nothing going on in the world the weekend before the Super Bowl. It's a dead weekend. At the store through WinterCon, I threw a show called WinterCon, and I gave creators, like, a 2-hour window, and over the 2 days, I was able to fit in, like, 30 creators over those 2 days. So I
Mhm.
always, like, enjoyed doing, like, small conventions or small events,
Like
and
meetups, ways
and
to just bring I mean, technically, are you bringing, like, buyers and, of their books more than anything in to see some of these guys?
Yeah, no, it was just basically like, spotlighting creators. I mean,
Mhm.
Tim Seeley there was a really cool, comic book scene in Chicago. They had Drink and Draw on Wednesday where all, like, the local creators would get together. So, I kind of got into the scene of the creators. I didn't really call them indie creators because some people were doing, Marvel and DC books, and then there was people publishing their own stuff. There wasn't like I never, like, designated, like, "Oh, these were big too, these were indie creators." It was just kind of like, these were the cool creators of Chicago, and it was a good time, so I was doing that, and then when I was like, "Oh, man, what would be really awesome is if I, like, did a show because then I could spend a whole year promoting it and then spend, like, 1 or 2 days, like, really working at it." And now that I have kids, it's my time constraints kinda kick in, so I was like, "Oh, I always wanted to do this show." And, I tried to pull it off, pre-pandemic, and then I signed a contract, and then the world shut down in Florida, and then when I moved up to Connecticut, I was really ingrained in, like, the cartoonist kayfabe,
Mhm.
fan group, and there was a lot of, self-publishers there, and there was a really cool network. Everybody was, like, kinda working on everybody else's book. There was a lot of anthologies. There was a lot of bootleg books where people were like, "Oh, I'll do a pinup, of, Image Comics. I'll do a pinup of your Superman book. I'll do a pin," and so everybody was kind of, like, together, and I was like, "Man, I really have to get this show going." And then in Connecticut, they have a department of tourism that helped me put a show together. They kind of, like, were the realtors and walked me around the venues and toured me, and, like, I found Southern Connecticut State University, and I was like, "Oh, this place is amazing for a show." And then when I put out the call for creators, man, people were really excited about the show, and really, I have a solid backing from the creators. This past year, we had 135 tables available, and I cut off applications at 300 people. But, and
Wow.
that was, like, 6 months ago that I cut it off. So within, like, the creator community, there is a need and a want for, like, an indie show because, the bigger shows, they're, driven by movies and TV and, other celebrities and stuff, and the comic book, the creator section kinda gets pushed away. So I, provided an opportunity for people to, show their books and show their work, and the creator community, like, really rallied behind me on that one. So thank you.
So like you said, you only have a limited number of tables and a lot of applicants. I mean, how did you handle the application process for, how did you, dishing out the tables that you gave out? I mean, it's not an easy process, I would assume.
No, thank you to Google Forms, thank you to Google, spreadsheets and organizing everybody, and I asked everybody for their Instagram, I asked everybody for their websites, and, you can see pretty quickly on Instagram if creators are, like, working hard and trying and putting the effort to go to the next level, and you can
Mhm.
see that pretty quickly with their presentation and how they present themselves. So that part was pretty easy. The next level of people that had never tabled before, that was more interesting, because we last year, I think we probably had, like, 5 to 10 creators that never tabled before. And, the story that I always tell is Jacob White, which I interviewed on the IC3 YouTube channel. I told people, I was like, "Hey, we're on a wait list now." And this gentleman, Jacob from Pittsburgh, he emailed me back. He's like, "Hey, man, I really wanna do the show. It's my first show, but I really wanna do it." And I asked him, I was like, "Hey, what were your plans for, your table, your display, all this stuff?" And he was like, "Oh, man, I've never done it before, but you want me to draw you, like, a picture of what I would do?" And I was like, "Oh, yes, totally." and he drew this insane I shoulda gave it to you. I'll post it on Instagram. But he drew this insane picture, super detailed of what his booth would look like. And just that pure effort of drawing,
That was all you needed to see. Yeah. Uh-oh, Matt froze up.
um, and
We can't.
Jacob took that opportunity and he's been doing, a convention almost every month, and I can't wait to see him again this year and see how he's grown as a creator and everything else he's done, and it's a really cool story, and there's like 5 or 6 of those stories that came out of IC3, the first one.
Well, that's great. I mean, you're helping creators get their start, or at least promote their stuff to people who are into indie comics. One of the things that I wasn't aware of, and all the meetings that we had, I didn't know that you had that kind of what was it considered? I forget now. It's the like a book of the year. Like you were giving away an award. How did was that part of the first year, or was that something that that was the mini comic of the year kind piece, right?
No, it wasn't the first year because I was just you had OAX. I was just overwhelmed with the first year of the show.
Hmm.
But I wanted now that I have, more people involved that I know and I'm through it, I wanted to do, an award that kind of, um I guess my analogy is NASCAR because all creators are the same. Creators are creators, and I wanted to create, basically see who could. I wanted to see who could drive the car the fastest. So it's a one-page black and white um, story comic book. Mini comic, and because nowadays with colors and computers, like you could really jump leaps and bounds of somebody else who isn't technologically advanced,
Hmm.
with that stuff. So I wanted to kinda keep it in the NASCAR model of like, "Hey, it's a one-page black and white comic. Show me what you can do with that and go from there." And we have we have 6 judges on it. I'm not one of the judges, but like Mikhail's a judge, Sean Watkins is a judge, Mike Martz, the editor in chief of Mad Cave, is a judge, Heather
Hmm.
Anthos, a senior editor at IDW, she's a judge as well, and then, Anthony Composto, the editor in chief of Monkeys Fighting Robots, he's a judge, and then Jules Bakes, she is a local New Haven, author, and she was a big supporter of getting the show off the ground too, and I was like, "You need to be involved in this as well," because she did a lot of work at, uh, Small Press SPX, Small Press
Okay.
Expo.
Yeah. Well, I put a link in the chat for people to check out that mini comic, single page story that you challenged people with. And no, that's awesome. I think that, finding a way to kind of give everybody a challenge and, a prize at the end. I mean, it just highlights, skill and talent and storytelling. And I think that's wonderful. I think, we need more honors like that. There's lifetime achievement awards out there, but you're dealing by and large with a younger, group of exhibitors who are, really, they've got. I mean, they've got you and I now are like the old men in the room, right? Because they've got different viewpoints than us, so it's fun. It's like watching my kids draw, right? I'm always like, wow, where did that come from? This concept or idea. And no, I think it's wonderful. I think that's an awesome challenge. I think the shows like OAX or IC3, and I can look at IX and other ones that kind of challenge their exhibitors to do more, try harder, e- produce better shows. The attendees are happier, the exhibitors are happier, and they're participating in making the show a success too at the same time. And I really enjoy that. It's not the atypical, comics professional just posting that an image on their site a week before the show saying I'm going. They're engaged weeks, if not months, before the show to make it a great show, and that's what makes it fun. When you know that you have that much support and uh, and just appreciation for the work that you're putting into this.
Yeah, I'm really excited about this, like, award, and, it's not really a I don't it's tough because you wanna celebrate everybody but you wanna reward somebody. But the thing is, you know, my store was nominated for an Eisner, but way back in the day twice, and I went through, like, that judging process, and I saw how that happened, and then I've seen the other award shows and how they kind of work, and they really don't reward I guess the working man creators kind of thing. It's a big 2 kind of reward,
Right.
or the bigger indie publishers as well. So, I wanted to also create an award to where, like, we during drink and draw, I'm gonna announce the winner.
Hmm.
And then, so then that winner can just sit with the trophy at their table all Saturday. And, I'm just trying to I look at how all the other shows awards or all the other awards for comics, and I was like, "How can we make something special and tailored towards the indie creators?" And I think I came up with something good because, like, everybody's really excited, and the people that participated in it did some really cool artwork and storytelling, and, all the judges were really impressed with the not contestants, but the creators and stuff,
Hmm.
we'll see how it grows.
I like the idea of giving out the trophy during the drink and draw. That's perfect. It's a social moment for everybody. They're going to be able to go up and congratulate the person who gets it. I think that's wonderful. So now I'm even more jealous that I'm not going to be there. I think it's just going to be something awesome to see. I think you've thought this thing out rather well, Matt.
Thank you.
So we have that. I know that we had the last week. I promoted a commissions list. A list of artists that are still taking commissions. Do you think that those people are still accepting commissions 2 weeks out still, or
Yeah, I think everybody's still accepting commissions, and it's if you go to, like, IC3's Instagram and stories, I've been trying to, show everybody that's been doing their commissions. I mean, Ian Cinco, I think he's done, like, 3 already,
hmm,
uh, and there's been a few other artists as well that are like, "Hey, this is a commission I have for, IC3 that I brought through," and it's been really interesting to see, the different choices of what people want as commission pieces as well. I see Stingray's here, and I think he's already got a few commissions already booked, and I'm excited to see what versions of Stingray we will see at IC3.
exactly. No, well, honestly, I was thinking of commissioning one or two people, but I have to make sure that one of the team members, whether it's you or it's Kazra or maybe even Colin or even Stingray, could pick them up for me. So if you give me the thumbs up, then I think I'll be reaching out to a couple of people tomorrow.
Yeah, no, I will totally you know
Okay.
mail you some stuff. I have no problem. I've everybody's been all the man more than a few creators. I think we're up to like 25 creators now are donating items to the gift bags. The first 100 people through the door are gonna get, gift bags, and they're just loaded with either mini comics or little not sketch cards, but, like, postcards of art, bookmarks, stickers, whatever cool indie thing that they could kinda come up with. I tried to steer away from, like, people wanted to give comic books away, and I wanted people to go to their tables to get those, um,
Right.
and stuff, but I've got a few mini comics that are going in there and some really cool artwork that's gonna be going in the gift bags, and I was really impressed with how many creators said that they wanted to participate in the grab bag, and that was really cool that people joined in on that and were excited for it.
Awesome. And I don't want to forget, I got a clip from last year's IC3. It's short, but it's just kind of gives people the vibe of how fun the room was, and clearly how much fun the exhibitors and the guests were having, at it. I mean, it's pretty awesome. So let me play that, and then we can, I've got actually a slide to remind everybody, the dates and everything too. And we can throw a few other things up after that. But here's the video clip. There you go. See, it looks like fun. So, and the reminder, we probably should have led with this slide, but because we did mention the date, it's the 15th of March, so we're just over 2 weeks away. It's on a Saturday for the show, 10 a.m. to 6 p.m., Southern Connecticut State University. Over 170 creators, panels all day. You got the scavenger hunt going on, portfolio reviews, even free parking. We can't even offer that at OAX, but you know, yeah, clearly it's going to be a great time. I think. Uh, I can't imagine that the press and the things that are said about the show afterwards aren't going to be anything less than spectacular.
I I think I kinda really realized that we did something was after Heroes Con. I didn't, like, go to Heroes Con, but Jamie Jones, who's running the panels at IC3, and is also a friend of mine. We've collaborated in comic books together and everything. He went to Heroes Con, and he came back from Heroes Con, and he, like, texted me, like, right away. He's like, "Dude, they're talking about our show." Like, all the creators that were at IC3 were saying how they did well, and then, other people were like, "Oh, man, I wanna do the" like, they were talking about the show,
Hmm.
and that's when I think I realized, like, "Oh, we might have something," because, this year I think we have, like, 10 Savannah art students that are currently enrolled at SCAD driving up to come to the show. I know we have a contingent from LA with Cosmic Lion flying in, and I know that there's even some people coming from Seattle. So the creators are coming in for the show. So I'm hoping that like the New Englanders and New York, uh, you know, come and support the show because the creators are very excited.
Well, I mean, if the creators are excited, it'll eventually draw in, the people who want to read their books too. At the end of the day, they're going to be talking about it, and hopefully, the bigger shows don't catch wind of the fact that there's this deep need for some love thrown their way, right? I mean, it's everybody's opportunistic, in this game, I think. But yeah, I mean, clearly this is, I don't know. Again, I'm just jealous I'm not going to be there, but I'll be able to be vicariously there after I get to see all the photos that you're going to take. I know you'll be walking around with your camera the whole time, I imagine.
Yeah, no, that's the plan, and then, we're gonna record all the panels that, happen, and we'll post those as well. I gotta put a shout out, that video was, produced by Comics Wellspring, which is the title sponsor of the show. Big thanks to them for last year, they were the ones getting all the video and interviews, and that was a huge help because, I was the registration guy last year. That was
Yeah.
my job. But this year we have, a few more friends coming in to help out, and Kezra will be there as well, and so I'll be able to, get a few more, videos and interviews and photos, and, it's I'm I had to it was one of those things where Drink and Draw was a huge success, but one of the creators had books shipped to my house, and they got delivered at, like, 6 o'clock on Friday night at my house. So I had to, like, drive back home, get the books, then drive back, and I missed, like, 90% of Drink and Draw. So, I talked to the creators this year and gave them a, earlier cutoff time on deliveries so that, I won't have to drive back and forth through Connecticut. But it's the little things, like people able to drop ship stuff to my house, and then I can drive things to the show, and that you're not gonna get from bigger shows, and that's the kind of service I provide for our show.
Well, if I can advise you one thing that I've forgotten to do 2 years now at OAX, I have always wanted to walk around to each booth, thank them for being there and take a selfie or get somebody
Yeah.
to take a photo of me with the exhibitors. It's 2 years now that I've just not taken the time, or by the time the show starts, you forget. Even though it's 2 days for OAX, I still forget. And at the end of it, I'm like, damn it, I missed the opportunity again. Because yeah, I mean that would at least mean I got to say hi to everybody if I did that. And year three, I'm not going to let that happen again. But I really think it's part of that. It's just getting around and making sure that because you want to see every booth too. I mean, you're setting the show up for. I mean, you made a show that you wanted to go to, and there, so don't stay at the registration booth the whole time.
No, and I I keep telling so one of the aspects of the show is since it's a smaller show is I want IC3 to be kind of like a hybrid conference/convention where the creators get, almost more out of it, like networking and educational wise and just sales and marketing and kind of like basically creators spend all their time and energy creating, and they're not training to sell books and they're not training to like, you know, be like, "Hey guys, buy my book, buy my artwork, do this, blah blah." And so those are the skills that I have that I like to kind of like offer up to creators of like, "Hey, this has been a huge discussion on my end as we've been talking about that creators probably should have 3 different size comic books. They probably should have, like, a nice, like, square pocket size or manga size,
Hmm.
maybe a traditional size book, and then a treasury, size. And maybe their traditional size comic book is their treasury, and then they have staggering that so, like, people coming up have, like, 3 options of what to kind of grab and what they prefer to hold in their hands.
Right. No, I mean, that makes perfect sense. Yeah, really, you got to cater to everybody's want, and a little bit more challenging for the creator. But again, if you're giving them some advice, if you're going to table at my show, these are the things that we see are successful, work well for others, and at the end of the day, you want to make sure they have a great show. So the more tips and tricks and things you can give them, and after this year, you're going to have another 5 or 6 ideas that you can help encourage people to do when they come to the show.
Yeah, and I have a Facebook group for basically IC3 creators. So if you've like tabled in the past or tabled now, like you can join the Facebook group. And I really want to try to get it to where people just share their table, take a photo of their table, whatever convention at, because like I know people are at Emerald City Comic Con. I think it's this weekend. And I was like, hey, you should share your booths and show people what you're doing and how you're selling books and how you're merchandising your table and working with your space because not every convention there's not a standard size for tables, so you can set up differently and how you either go high or low or big banners, small banners, like what works for you, like table design is very interesting in conventions because it's I mean, you've been to you've been to OAX. You've been to I'm sure you've been to MegaCon. You live close to MegaCon and
I have, yeah. I've been
all
to
this
San
stuff is like
Diego and you name it.
sensory overload when you're walking through this in a crowd and like so how do you make your booth stand out or make it easy for people to buy stuff from you?
Mhm.
I love that nerdy side of the industry.
Don't we all? That's, but now now we have to let everybody know that funky music is not playing while you're walking through the show. That was only put on there by Comics Wellspring to kinda get you in the right mood when you're looking at the show. But I know that you have a unique kinda setup with separate rooms and everything, but that's gotta probably, work well for the noises in the room. I think anybody who's wanting to have a conversation won't feel like they have to shout over anybody, and that's always gonna be a good thing. And you have a one-day show. I mean, I think that's something special because people who are attending know they're going to get to see everything in that 8 hour window. It's 8 hours, right? 10 to
Yeah, 10
6.
to 6, yeah, 8-hour
Okay.
window. And, yeah, we have a scavenger hunt as well since, like, this is last year we had, like, the ballroom and we had the foyer for tables. This year we've taken over the whole 3rd floor of the student center, and so there's breakout rooms, and then there's, like, another, foyer, like a earlier foyer, I guess.
Hmm.
And so there's tables all throughout the 3rd floor, and so we have a scavenger hunt. Antoine William Blake, he designed, basically a D&D map, and there'll be creators with stamps in the different rooms. And, so if you get it all stamped, you can come back to the registration area, you'll get a prize. But then we have a grand prize of original artwork. Jamie Jones is in charge of making a jam piece on Drink and Draw on Friday night,
Hmm.
and that will be the grand prize that we'll give away, as a raffle.
Cool. Hey, see, Stingray is going, and he's already doing the math. He's like 170 creators, 8 hours. I've got, how am I going to cram in 20 tables every hour? But Stingray, I know you can find a way to do it, because you gotta find a way to. But I mean, but that's what's going to make it fun. It's a lot of hit and run, and you're going to be, you'll be able to see a lot of the creators afterwards back at the hotel, I imagine, and it sounds like a great weekend. You guys have put a lot of effort into it. I know you've been brainstorming with Kazra too, and I can, again, I know it's going to be fantastic. So I'm looking forward to the reports. And like Stingray said, he's going to carry his camera too, and he'll share some photos after it's all over.
Thank you very much, Stingray. Take as many photos as possible.
Exactly. So, so Matt, I mean, I think, I don't know if we're going to have you on next week or not, but it'd be cool maybe if we can get a few, maybe a couple artist guests, maybe. I'd love to just do a 20-minute segment just to talk about them. Maybe we can work out something to, for next week's show. I know
Yeah,
that
no, I can definitely rally up a few creators, more than a few.
I know you have a show yourself, that following day. So not this Friday, but next Friday you've got your own. But maybe if there's anybody who maybe couldn't make the Friday show, that's still we're looking for, 10 or 15 minutes to talk about their books and their art. I'd be happy to have them on.
Yeah, well, I'll definitely make that happen, and I'll put the word out to some of them are listening right now. So feel free to message me, email me, DM, whatever communication device you're using lately. Message me, and I'll connect you with Bill, and it'll happen.
That sounds good. And I'm just looking, I want to make sure I didn't miss sharing any other links. I might as well just reshare the link to the main website here in the chat too, so everybody's got that. I know I had it in the show description, but anybody who's curious about the show, tickets are still available. I imagine you can buy tickets right up until the day of the show at the show, but getting them in advance is always a good thing, because it just kind of helps you figure out where you need people throughout the day at what time.
Awesome. You know what? I have another interview to do.
Oh, that's right, you do. All right. Well, listen, Matt, thank you for coming on. And again, you look great in a Batman shirt. Don't change. All right, man.
Appreciate it.
Not a problem, Matt. Take it easy. All right. And Mikhail says there's also a link on CAF now on the main tabs. There is, absolutely. We squeezed an extra link in there to make room for it, but we're gonna have to rejigger that CAF menu one of these days so we can actually kind of fill everything better. But there's talk of creating just an events tab, which is probably wise, and just maybe highlighting the main event at the top, but also just letting people know what our event schedules are going forward, because we certainly have a lot of them. And I guess that almost leads me right into the schedule. I might as well just talk about that, because we're highlighting things as events these days. Yeah, I even call it upcoming schedule of events. I've had a couple of interviews just kind of drop in my lap the last few days. So my March is almost fully booked. I'll be doing a show with Zadok next Tuesday, and just so you know, I literally have all those days off. I don't have a single responsibility on the YouTube channel for 4 days, which is going to feel really weird, but probably but long overdue to have that much time off again. But again, Zadok, many of you got to see him at OAX the last 2 years. He's been very large in the illustration world as far as an art collector, and hosting meetups and gallery exhibits. He's done stuff in New York quite a few times. I think the first time I met him, it was at one of his meetups at New York Comic Con. So we've talked quite a bit, but not a lot about the art in his collection, because it's so diverse. So it'll be fun to have him on and look at his comic art collection. But also, he told me, he goes, I have to bring some illustration pieces, because I think some of my best stuff is the illustration art. And I told him, hell yes. We would love to see whatever he may have that he hasn't shown off on CAF already. Then next week I got a Wolvie Fans art drop. We've got the IC3 show that we were just talking about, creator interview, show preview. That's going to be Friday the 7th. And that'll be at 8 p.m. So a little bit earlier start time than normal, but it gives them the opportunity to run as long as they need to, so that they can get in all the creator interviews that they want. The day after that, I've got Ryan Sook on for a 2 p.m. Hero Benefit auction. I'm going to show the pieces from that. That's one of the packages I've got to open up. Got some Comic Connect preview. E.C. Harris is on the 11th. I've got the Ali Murad is going to be on the 18th. The Hakes preview. I mean, lots of stuff. Regular Dueling Dealers episode on the 12th. Tom Fish reached out, oddly enough, the other day, and said he wanted to come on finally, after asking him for the last 4 years. So I said, sure. We'll have you on the 25th, and way all the way in April, I've got something with Sarah Jane, and I think we're going to see Sarah Jane even one time before that on a CAF update. There's some small illustration auction that's going. I think that starts in 2 or 3 weeks, the week after IC3 actually. So she'll be joining me for a small preview on that day as well. We got Hembeck coming on in April. Jeff Moy late in March, and just added not 24 hours ago, Dave Kopecky and Ben Brezel will be back for an amateur dueling dealers match on March 26th. So lots of diverse things on our Wednesday nights in March, which is fun. We need to have as much diversity in there as we can. Then our main events, of course, the IC3 March 15th, as we mentioned already. Comic Art Live the weekend of May 17th and 18th, and then again November 15th and 16th, and then OAXExpo 2026 the weekend of February 20 to 22. So moving it a month later, but I can assure you the weather will be warmer, and there's lots of stuff that we'll be able to start talking about in a few months related to OAX 2026. So Marcus, I'm sorry, man. You should have bought the art, then you could have called her whatever you wanted. All right, that's all I have to say. I didn't even want to hazard a guess whom that character was. Yes, he does instantly. He's actually going to show some stuff from his personal collection on that show. Small. I think he mentioned that was going to be like probably less than 30 pieces, because every piece is out of his personal collection and has an interesting story. And so we were just going to do a small art drop, everything priced from that. But yeah, stuff from his own collection. All right, packages. What do we got here? First one. This one came in today from Ryan Sook. These are the Hero Initiative pieces that we'll be auctioning off on Saturday the 8th. Let's see here. All right. Now, it's supposed to be a set of Hero Initiative sketch cards and coasters. It looks like I got a couple blanks I can use for something. I don't know. What else we got in here? Yeah, I knew there was more coasters in there than that. Let's look at the coasters first. All right. So we got here. We got a nice Terminator. I know that Ryan was a big Terminator movie fan. Look at that. Those kind of go together. Just you can't put drinks on these, everybody. So if you win these are going to be everything from the Ryan Sook show will be at auction too. I just have to get with them to figure out what they want us to start the starting bids at. I'm sure it'll be pretty modest, low, and all of the funds that we raise from this show will go straight to the Hero Initiative. It's a good one too. And then look at this. I know we got a few Body Snatchers fans out there. Look at that. That one's awesome. I think he likes, he's a movie fan, right? Then let's see. So these are on Hero Initiative sketch cards. So it's got the Hero Initiative logo on the back. Got a Wolverine. Got a Batman. These are all done. Looks like in brush pen. We got a Hellboy. So I'll make sure these get. I have a surplus of sketch card sleeves, so I'll make sure we get these things all sleeved. What is it? Who's that? I guess that looks like Storm almost. Could be wrong. No, it's got to be Storm. There we go. Gotta get some DC in there too, right? Mary. That girl. Oh, and a grumpy Batman. A Spider-Man. And then a Superman. So it probably won't be a long show. We've had Ryan on a few times for interviews in the past, so we'll probably do like a 20-minute interview and then auction these off. I'm sure it won't be an hour and a half of showing. Yeah, we could put them in epoxy, Brian. You're right. That'd be one way to then use them. But yes, Marcus, all at auction. All right, let me set this aside, and then yes. So when we had Aaron Campbell and Scott Hepburn on, that was in, well, it was like the second week in January. We did the art sale with them, and so there was two pieces that Scott had that I really thought were cool. So let's see here. First up, he sent me some books, some Minor Threats books that were written by Patton Oswalt. So that'll be fun. He just says, thanks for having me on the show. Here's a jump start to your Minor Threats library. So he sent me a couple of trades right there and there. Minor Threats was not what I was interested in when I wanted to buy a piece from him. It was actually, I thought that Venom Carnage webcomic artwork was really cool. And not necessarily because I like Venom and Carnage, but just the concept of strip art in a vertical format. so it can be scrolled through on your phone. And the two pieces that we had during the show, I think, were picked up by Rich Donnelly and Corey Rust, if I'm not mistaken. I know Corey got one live, and I think Rich got the other. But when the show was over, I told Scott how I was going to buy one if one didn't sell, because I thought the idea was really kind of cool. And he said, well, I've got a dozen more. And I think even I think Corey ended up getting a few more of these. But yeah, so here you go. So here's this. So that's pretty tall. So it's 17 by whatever, 4.5. But again, meant to be scrolled through, and we have word balloons on it. But I just thought it was unique. And this one it's got a big roller coaster on the bottom. So, I'm living near Orlando. I thought that was an appropriate piece to get. So there you go. I mean, it looks like it'd be like an unfinished scrap at the end of the day, but I love the idea. So because I've read a bit about those, and a lot of times that work is all done digital. So there's not I would assume getting piece like that's traditional is not going to happen too often. And then I know Scott has a few more of those, but so if anybody was interested, I can hook you up. I can I can get Scott to shoot you an email and tell you what's still available. And yeah, there you go. So that's it. That's all I got to open up. I think everything else has been seen already that's coming to Cafe HQ. Oh, they are awesome. So Corey got his too. Yeah, they are they're like a menu, aren't they? Cats loves comics. Yeah, that is true. Minor Threat is a punk band. Are they? Were they? I knew the name from someplace else, but yeah, it's been my punk days are far behind me. Anyway. All right, thank you, Stingray. It is a fun book. I will read it. Yeah, Marcus. We just need some Robert Crumb, table mats laminated, and then we can eat on those as well. All right, so I don't want to keep us waiting. I've got a weekly flip to go through, and then I've got to get Mikhail on here, and we've got some other things to look at. So I got a surprise weekly flip from from Southern Comic Geek the other day. I haven't watched it yet, but I know it's about 9 minutes long. So he's a Valiant guy. Every time we have an art sale, I think one of the first questions always comes from him, and he asks if there is indeed any Valiant art. And of course there never is. So well, we can't say of course there never is. There is every once in a while. And once a punk, always a punk. That did remind me, one of well, I'll talk about it after the video clip. Anyway, here we go. Let's do the weekly flip with Jason, aka Southern Comic Geek, talking about what I'm sure will be some Valiant artwork.
All right, here is my flip for my VH1 XO Manowar. So this is issue 2, page 1. And you see a largely redrawn spider alien, as they were still mapping that out at that point. I had a fun conversation with Bob Layton regarding this and the image behind it and who did what at OAX this year. So definitely one of the highlights, and got him to sign that right there as well. Then we've got issue 2 page, another issue 2 page where XO was smoking before it was even cool back in 1992. And then this is a Mike Leake page, page 1 of issue 7, I believe. Always great to be smashing some spider aliens. Issue 20, XO and Randy there. XO Manowar number 21, great little, as the armor, Randy takes over the armor and she's out there, kind of a Steranko homage. Then we've got a bunch of pages from issue 29 as the aliens have attacked Eric and the crew. A lot of them lay dead, and now they got to go after Eric and or Ark, or how you want to say it, tomato tomato. But he wakes up in their clutches in page 4, and then they're going after him. Turok has gotten rid of his bow. He's trading in for a good gun. And 29, page 5. Gonna ratchet it up a little bit with a little Molotov cocktail to those little furry beasts. And Exo Man of War, page 7. Little bad breath there. Little spider saliva. And page 10. So the battle rages on, and then we're going to have Paul. We'll find out is going to be mortally wounded from this. And they carry him out of the cave as they Turok blasts the rocks behind them, and they escape. Back at the house, they're going to take him to the hospital. Arx decides to stay behind. Drowning out his sorrows, Solar finally gets the message and shows up. And though he's heard that it's better late than never, Art doesn't think so and gets mad at him. Solar's like, well, I don't know what you expect me to do. And so he takes off and starts bashing the place back. Randy's back. There's a little tension that has been building up to this point. And of course, with Paul's wound, it's not gotten any better. And I don't have the page, but trust me, if you know, you know, leads up to some other quote-unquote tension being released a little bit later. Now into the next issue. Paul's in the hospital. Randy's visiting him, and he's like, hey, it doesn't look good. I'm gonna die. She doesn't want to hear it, so she leaves. Back at the house, he knows what he needs to do. He's got a new exo seed, but he finds out that the exo seed has to have a human sacrifice in order to grow, if you will. He doesn't know what to do. He's talking over things with Turok. So Randy and him start talking it over. She's like, you know this is not going to work. I don't know what you think you're going to do. Because he thinks he's going to sacrifice himself. Paul overhears this and he says, hey guys, I'm going to do it. And she's like, Paul, you can't do it. Of course I can. I'm going to die anyway. Might as well make my life worth something. He hands over, love dated references like this, hands over a floppy disk to her, and then he slices the X on his chest and puts the seed to it, and then the seed overtakes him. Be nice to get the next few pages after this at some point. And now Paul is the new armor. It's not Shanhara anymore. But Exo Man of War 31, page 9. He's trying out the new armor. And then this is the last page of this issue. Spider aliens are cooking up something pretty grotesque as usual, and leads into the chaos effect. Stuck out in space. It's always great to blast through some spider aliens. Most of these are Rick Levin's, Catherine Bollinger inks. Most all these pages. So the Armorines and Hardcore are stuck out here too. So they just decide to team up out here. They're stuck in outer space as a result of the chaos effect. Now, little headless action. Look, a beheading. This is probably Bill's favorite page right here. And he's not too happy about being stuck out there. Battle rages on. They're still smashing through the spider aliens. Great inks. I'm not sure why at this point the paste ups for the word bubbles are gone, but they drawn them on these pages. Smashing through the ship. And now, back on Earth, Exo Man of War issue 34, page 14. Little dino action. Another beheading by a dino, no less. Dino's attacking them. They fight back. And they decided to team up because, hey, what's good for dinner? Dinosaurs. I'm sure they'll say it tastes like chicken. Exo Metal War 39, page 17. He's teaming up with Ninjak here to rescue Randy. And then we have the return of Bart Sears to the title, issue 57, page 14. Bart was working on a smaller board size at this point. And then Exo Manowar 67. This is towards the end of the run. And actually on the published page, like this part right here is actually blacked out. Like he blacks out, he wakes up, he's got the armor around him. But this is a really nice Jackson or Butch Guy's transformation page there. And this is a Bart Sears, and I'll butcher his name, Chris Singh. And so inks, and got them to both sign this at Heroes Con last year. This was a piece that they done for Diamond's calendar. One year. It'd be nice to be able to get an actual copy of that calendar. And then this is a Mike Lee Carl Story piece that I picked up, kind of a reimagining of Exo Manowar issue number 1's cover. And that's all I've got for, at least for now, for Exo Manowar during VH1.
Well, I do not have to buy the trade paperback because I just got the whole story from beginning to end. I mean, that would have been like 6 different trades, but no, perfect. And we got the voiceover. You know, I thought after Derek did his Transformers voiceover for that one dramatic reading, we might not ever get another one like it. And Jason, Southern Comic Geek, you have outdone yourself. If you ever do another one, I'd like to see you do a whole page like that. That might be fun. But you got to have at least, I want multiple characters so you can kind of split back and forth between them. That will show your versatility. So, all right, what do we got next here? I've got my good friend Mikhail in the green room here. He's going to hang out with me for the rest of the show because he's the guest art selector today. Hey, Mikhail.
Hey, good evening.
It's good to see you again.
No music? No sirens?
Oh my goodness! I should have come up with an intro for you. All right. I'm sorry. I can back out and play the sirens if you want.
Yeah, I'll take sirens. Sure.
All right, here. Let me drop it back out here. Let me go and now again. He's been waiting in the green room pretty much this whole show, just ready and raring to go, waiting for his chance to get on screen. Well, let's all give a loud welcome, booming scream for my good friend Mikhail. Oh boy. Well, there we go. Much better. Much better.
I like the exposition in the flip when he says she doesn't want to hear about it, so she leaves.
Yes.
Great.
Yes. Hey, is that a flat file behind you? Is that what you got back there? Is that?
Yeah,
it looks like...
the top 2 drawers are a flat file.
Ah.
And then there's a big hanging file, and then there's a moderate, like a mid-sized.
Yes. Well, that's nice. I see. We are in the art room at your place. Clearly,
We're starting to find some balance and organization finally. Hopefully, like now everything's placed, and then I can start to put the art up. So, but right now I'm in this Chris Snorik barren basement before he hung the art.
Well, I remember at your other house you had kind of like a closet. It was all well organized, if I remember correctly. There was a video.
Yes.
Yeah, you had a really good plan. Something I'm still striving for around here, but well, you're still getting settled. And which reminds me, you got to send me your mailing address. So I don't have it. I don't have your new one. Not that I'm planning on dropping by one day unannounced or anything like that.
You're welcome. Everyone's welcome.
Good. But yeah, but you're going to IC3. I mean, I should have brought you on earlier when we were talking with Matt, but I know that you're you're gonna get to you probably know some of the artists that are there already, but this
Uh,
gonna or do you
not
not?
as many as you would think. You know, it's such a diverse range of people. And I have set up a few pre-con, commissions, and it's been really fun to hear about people like Tyler and Stingray get excited about coming down for it. So it's starting to have that pre-OAX mini vibe. I'm only slated to go down Saturday at the moment, but I'm already starting to get FOMO and might try and switch it to a Friday evening
Friday,
arrival.
Saturday. Yeah, that sounds like, if I had the time, that's what I would be doing. Friday, Saturday sounds like, well, even if you'd stay to Sunday, that'd be better. But I think even Jason D'Ambrosio's going, right? I mean, if Jason's,
Yes, Jason, and we're trying to get Dan T to come up. So yeah, it'll be fun. I'm excited for it.
well, all the guys outside of Chris Snork, it's like everybody who finds the hard to find artists. So, I think that's going to be interesting to see what you guys come back with and post to CAF.
I'm excited to see what it's like, and the competition that Matt was talking about, the one-page story, that's been really fun. So good times. I did check though, there's no Millers anywhere in New Haven, unfortunately.
So no zingers, whatever those were.
Unless I make some at home and take them along with me. I am very excited about the fact that it's just jump in the car and go to a show.
How far from? Because I don't even know where. I've driven through Connecticut, but I don't. I have no concept where any of the cities are. Where exactly is New Haven?
It should be about 2 hours away.
Yeah, from
So,
from Boston.
not bad.
Not bad. Best pizza in the U.S. though. I've heard that, though I can't substantiate that in any way. All right, so I figured I'd bring you on now because not only just to see what you're going to be doing at IC3 and to let everybody know that you're going to be there and how you've been participating already, but you did go to OAX. We talked a little bit about it the other day, but I have a video clip from OAX that you're not in and neither am I. But I thought it'd be fun to have you on camera.
I was hardly anywhere, I feel, in retrospect. There was just so much to do. So I'm excited to see what I missed out on too.
That is kind of the best part of seeing any of the videos afterwards is what actually did happen, because it's true. You and I barely had the chance to talk. I mean,
that idea that you had of stopping by each table and taking a selfie, like, you definitely need to do that.
I am doing that next year. There is no way that's not happening. Just being there, you owe it to everybody to do that. But at least then I can say that I've seen it. I stopped by. I saw. Who did I stop by? I saw Steve-O's and Lovitz's booth, because they were near the
right by the door. Right
by the door when I was walking out one time. So I stopped and looked at their booth. I didn't get to look at Devin's, team's booth at all. I didn't say hi to one of his artists, not one. And I mean, and it's just stupid. So yeah, from now on, that'll be my requirement is the selfie. So at least I can say I said hi to everybody. Marcus, I don't think Mikhail saw that show last night, so he can't hazard a guess on what.
I'm wishing I had. Apparently, it was quite contentious.
Yeah, there was a Jim Silky kind of nude kneeling. We'd seen it a couple times before on Anthony's show, and Anthony was certain it was like Naomi Campbell or something like that, and then somebody else was certain it was somebody else, and then of course it became 20 different women by the time it was done. It was Whoopi Goldberg, it was you name it, and I think at the end of the day Anthony was proven wrong, and the art sold, of course. Tyra Banks, there you go.
We still haven't seen the Brooke Shields from was it Mannix that
yeah, I think it was. That's true. So hey,
remind Jiggy.
Before we show this video, did you go to Jiggy's booth and ask to see the secret portfolio?
No, but I saw a portfolio that may have been the secret portfolio, but I didn't specifically ask for it.
Okay, well, so
that was one of the few booths where I did flip through a portfolio.
All right. Yeah, it's hard to miss their, to not hit their booth. They're all smiling, inviting.
Well, that's the thing is you get so busy talking to everyone that you forget to look at art.
Yeah, so true. I actually sent my kids over there to get sketch cards done, and they got 2 from Ellery, 1 from JP, 1 from Harvey, and I think 1 from Ellery too. I mean, because they're just fun and they're quick.
Well, doing the picks this week and going through Alberto's 40 pieces, you realize that he got around and got quite a few sketch cards.
Yeah, I did pick a piece from Alberto this week. There was a lot of good art that got dropped this week. But anyways, let's get back to OAX. We'll show this video clip. Tom McDonald filmed this, and it's a wonderful piece. It's can be used for us as a PR piece for collectors who were doing pre-OAX to the artists who could get a vibe for the show and what it was like to interact with the collectors who were picking up art. And there's a few interviews in here that Tom threw in. So, and he's got everybody mic'd up, so it sounds very, very, very professional. So let's go ahead and take a look at this. And he sent me many versions of this today. I think I got the right one though here at the end. And here we go.
I was offered to spend 122 cover, and I kept in here.
What's up? How's it going? I'm excited, man. Everyone's talking about it.
Sure. It's somewhere here, so let me find it. Yeah.
Damn. Oh man.
So you asked for Batman versus Azrael,
Yep.
and I know that Azrael is like a medieval character, so I chose both of them to be in medieval style. So this is Batman Knight, kind of like a white knight,
Sure.
maybe, and lots of Easter eggs in the background.
Oh my gosh, look at that. This is phenomenal. That is gorgeous. Mike, this is really fantastic.
Oh, thank you.
I love it. First time you've drawn them?
First time I've drawn them.
Cool.
I did some pink underpainting on the cape, just to give it a little more texture.
I mean, that is amazing. That is amazing.
This texture is me like emulating, basically using the technique of Dino Battaglia. I never knew how he did it, and then a book came out where they described him using cotton balls and ink and then just patting it. So I've done that here, and then I've gone in with Posca white paint marker, a paint pen, to go in here and bring light back out of it, and then sort of distressing the surface for the plane like it's been hit and messed up.
I'm blocking it so you can't see it. Until you're ready to see it. Do you want to see your cap?
I want to see my cap.
All right.
Show the cap. There you go.
There's cap.
I know there's going to be a hole in the wall.
There's going to be a hole in the wall. If you want to pick it up now, you can always pick it up later. It's up to you. But yeah, when I did this piece, I was like, Captain America, finally a Captain America commission. So I wanted to make him, looking proud. As Captain America usually looks bold and proud, like a leader. So that was the goal here. And there's obviously some kind of fire or chaos going on behind him, and he's calm though, because that's Cap. He's calm under any situation, right?
Let's talk about what's behind you, because that's a little bit different than the work you've been doing up until this point. Tell us what we're looking at.
Yeah, I did a lot of card work previously, and I'm still doing some of that work, but now I'm also doing some cover work. These are some covers that I did for Dark Horse Comics. This is for the Stranger Things Dungeons & Dragons crossover comic, which will be coming out in March. And it was a tremendous opportunity to be able to work on a comic book cover, which for me, that's always been a dream since I was a kid. To be able to do a comic book cover and to be on the cover of a comic is it's fabulous. It's a dream come true, really.
When you look back now on what you're bringing to the show, say to where you were 5 years ago, how has it changed? How have you gotten better or different as an artist?
It's tough to see when you're working day to day and you're just in your studio and you're constantly just plugging away. But then you go back and you look at something from 1 year, 2, 3, 5 years ago especially, and you think, oh, that's not me anymore. That's not really how my art is, anymore. I've evolved since then. And I think it's an evolution. You'll have a certain influence. You'll say like, oh, as a kid, I loved Jim Lee. And so, I'd be penciling a lot and my work maybe starts to have that sort of feel. But then later on, I said, okay, I love Wayne Reynolds' artwork that he does with Dungeons & Dragons and Pathfinder. And you start to sort of emulate that a little bit. And then I studied with Dan DeSantos, and I start to emulate that a little bit. And you studied with Dave Palumbo, and I start to emulate that, right? And so I think as you grow as an artist, all of these influences stack up, and then part of who you are also adds to that, and it becomes this thing. And this thing is Miles, and hopefully somebody at some point looks at it and says, "Oh, that's a Miles Wool piece."
Hey, Rick. All right, good to see you. Good to see you, man. All right, I'm really excited for this because this is a first commission that I have gotten from you since 1992. Wow. And you are the second Madam Hydra I'm getting, so I can't wait for it.
All right, well,
That actually I am really excited about. So this is the bust that I was hoping to get, and I love the fact that you do the you got the half hair over the eye.
I even double check which side it's supposed to be.
Holy cow, that is awesome. That is awesome. And the costume is fantastic.
It's the second most complicated costume I've drawn.
Really? First being Jack of Hearts?
Yes.
Every Jack of Hearts, right?
Yeah.
There's a new show as part of the new DC universe on Max, HBO Max, Future Commandos.
Yeah.
And you were a co-creator. Tell me what that process is and what it's like to see something you created in full motion and large screen.
They were supplying me with stories to do, and they were trying to keep me busy until they could get me on a regular book. And they knew I rarely ever said no to anything. So I get this strange story called Creature Commando. And I'm reading it, and it's like, well, okay, this is interesting. You got all the classic monster people, which is the way he wanted it structured. It was just a down and done thing. I only did the first issue. I didn't do any of the others because they had me on G.I. Robot, and then they had me on Legion of Superheroes, and finally Firestorm. What was it like to see them suddenly make it to the big screen? It was almost justice, because seeing my name at the top of the list next to the writers instead of amongst the others and the fame, I said, well, that's pretty cool. Now I'm just waiting for hopefully a royalty check.
That would be nice. What are you doing right now today?
What's on my board right now is Bronze Star. It's about a character named Harley who used to supply meat for the Confederate Army. He wins the card game, but his opponent, he accused him of cheating. By the time the son goes for his gun, Harley had already put a bullet right here.
So we're going to go over to Comic Connect and pick up my first appearance page.
How's it feel, man?
It's pretty amazing. This is usually going to be one of the cornerstones of my collection. It's going to be hard to top this as far as published art, but we're sure going to try.
That's a
He
reminder.
snuck you in there right towards
I
the
saw it
end.
right there in the back. I was in the
You're
background.
not looking too happy.
No, I was trying to. We had I wouldn't say it was a snafu, but we had one. We had two people that thought they won a piece from JP. That in the auction, that one. There's a Spider-Man and
Curling Ralph.
yeah, Simpson. Yeah, exactly that piece. And whether they got it or they didn't, the first guy picked it up. So so we sold it to that guy, and so the second guy was disappointed. He thought he got it. So I took him to JP's table the next day, and and JP wasn't there, but I was trying to set something up for him. Let's make up for you're being disappointed the night before.
But let's get back to that great video from Tom. I mean, what a great concept and execution.
Yeah, no, Tom did a fantastic job. Thank you very much, Tom. It was again, above and beyond. That's just part of the fun, is just getting people who want to record the moments out there, because again, all those things we wouldn't have gotten to see, right? I mean, we wouldn't have got to see Carl pick up his art from near, and shoot,
it is a special moment that is oddly fleeting when we pick up a commission, if we even get to meet the artists at a show to do it. So it's really special to see it captured so that everyone can celebrate together. That
Exactly.
Adam Hughes piece that Rick got was fantastic. And yeah, I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, so you can do it again next year, Tom. We all approve. But yeah, we got to line those up though. I because yeah, I got a piece from Near, and I didn't even get. I had Tatiana dropped it off with me, so I didn't even get to thank her when I got it. So you know, it is how it goes. But you know, but yeah, I think that's awesome. Very as long, you know, even though they're a little bit, I don't know, they're wonderful. So thank you, Tom, and thank you to all the artists and collectors who participated in it as well. And we got to see Stingray pick up his prize.
First appearance of Stingray.
Exactly, with a big, did you notice, 4 pickups? So it's nice to know that Comic Connect does pretty much the same thing. Probably all of us do. The bigger the post-it note, the better. You know, pick up at OAX. You know, drop off with so and so. So even the big guys out there are still using post-it notes and big Sharpie markers to highlight where things got to go.
It is the best way to keep a portfolio organized, especially when you're packing for a show and you're throwing pages in.
No, I'm not. Trust me, I do it all the time. That's why I've got just whenever I've got something I got to move after a Saturday sale show, I'm always bagging them and putting a you know, a post-it note on them with a name. You know, are they paid in full? Am I waiting for time payments? And slide it in the drawer and just wait. So no,
Let's get posted on as a sponsor.
that's true. We can't get Zevia, but maybe we can get Post to do it. I like that idea. All right, all right. Well, I'll think about that. See, Jerry says he wished that his Joe Linzer pickup would have been recorded. So, did you like pass out, Jerry? Did you, you know, did you give a, you know, I'm coming to join you, honey, you know, clutching at your chest kind of moment, or were you? Well, I don't know. We won't ever know. I guess that's the problem. But yeah, that's next year, Jerry. If you see Tom, you got to say, I'm going to go pick up this piece from somebody. Stingray says I got a piece with Bill and a post-it, of course. That's right. I did hand a Stingray. See, that's true. I mocked Comic Connect, and I did the exact same thing to Stingray, so he got it both ways. Was it Red Fox or Tyra? That was Red Fox that time. God loves comics. All right. So why don't we get on with this thing? We got I can talk about some heritage stuff, and I can talk about some so we can show the EXP video that we got. I don't think I have any other major videos in here to play. No, I got all that stuff out of the way. So yeah, let's look at some art. And I got, you know, last week I bid on it on like 7 pieces of art in the heritage auction. I'm not going to bid on any artwork this time around. It was tough. You know, for me, there just wasn't a whole lot in there not a whole lot to love. But we can look at the pieces I picked out just to show off to everybody, just because and it took me a while. I had to go down to all the pieces that didn't have bids on them. That's how far it went to try to find what I wanted to show today. So figure start off with a Trimpy Jack Abel. You know, it's a Bruce Banner transformation page, right in front of the Buy Beast. So that's something for you. It's from issue 169. Nothing special, but you know, everybody.
I mean, there's a sizable thigh gap there.
Yeah, look at that in that
panel.
first panel. You're right. Yeah, that's true. That's not too bad. And the thigh, and you're on the buy. You're talking about the Buy Beast thigh gap. My goodness. Yeah, Banner looks very puny.
But you're right. You're right. It is a transformation page in reverse.
Yeah. In truth, a human would fare no better. All right. We need to bring Southern Comic Geek in here and let him do some voiceovers for these panels.
I know.
That might make
really,
it more fun.
Sell these pages for heritage.
Marcus, come on, man. For me, I can't bid on everything. You know, the last couple of weeks, I threw at least 4 or 5 thrill bids in when I was doing my picks. This week, there just wasn't something for me to do that on. Let's see here, and I'll tell you, I was actually, I don't even mind saying this. There was in last week's auction, there was a new X-Men page by Corday, whose artwork is, for me, is more miss than hit. This was a great page, right? It had Jean on it, it had Beast on it, and I had thrown like I think like a $700 bid on it, because I don't know what, I just can't imagine that the Corday market is too high, right? So I actually waited. I've never sat through a Wednesday live auction, but I did, because it was right before Dueling Dealers, and I thought for sure. So I actually threw a bid in before the piece came up. I thought, and it was around $1,100. I thought that's got to be as high as it goes. It went to $2,400 for a Grant Morrison, Corday, and again, it was arguably a very good page. I just was shocked. So it just shows that I don't know some markets as much as I thought I did.
I don't think any of us know any of the markets anymore.
No.
What you knew 2 years ago just isn't valid anymore.
Exactly, and I'd have to believe, Corday didn't do a lot of work on the Morrison run, and so there's not a lot of pieces out there. And when an actual really good page comes up, there's got to be at least 3 or 4 people who really want it. Because if you wanted to get one, that was it.
It just goes to show you how many people are watching these auctions.
Exactly. I was shocked because it stopped at like $1,700, and it was clearly 2 people going back and forth, and they would wait till it got to like 1 second before they're going to call it another $100. It was just depressing to watch it, because you see that happening. It's like you're never going to be able to get one at the price you think you can afford. Anyway, let's get back to my picks here. So this was a Jack Davis illustration. So see, I don't normally pick Jack Davis, but this is a good one. Throwing money around. I don't know what this is from some Yak story, but if you're looking for an example of Jack Davis work, here is one for you.
Is it a 5-page story?
No, I think it's page 5 from the story. Oh. Let me close it. I thought that's what it was. Yeah, it's page 5 from a story from 1961. How to win friends. Okay, throw money around. Well, that's always a way to gain friendships with just about anybody on the block. Kids, adults, retirees, you name it.
It's a fun illustration, though. The way they separated the black and the white.
Yeah, I thought I actually what caught my eye. That's why typically I don't like look at the detail images, but when I saw that one, I thought, well, it's kind of interesting, and it was. Next up, just a good Western illustration, Howard Nostrand, and it's from the 80s. But I just thought, hey, this is when I'm going after Western art, that I'm not seeing stuff that I'm thrilled with. But again, I think it's a great image. It's rendered the horse really well.
And so far, both examples are great representation of images that look good in the thumbnail as well, because they're quite striking and they read quite well. This one's great.
Agreed. Frank, God Loves Country, is hoping to get a Quietly cover for around $700. I actually bought a Quietly cover for $500 from New X-Men. I did, and I got it. Did I buy that one from Mitch?
Don't do this to yourself, Bill. Don't do it.
It was all pencil. It was the one with the woman in like the burqa where you just saw her eyes. So it was a very sparse cover, $500.
With a sand cover.
Yes, exactly. And just so everybody knows, that cover was not fully penciled in as I think it is today. I had nothing to do with that. When I sold it, it was still just pencil line art. So if anybody who owns that or has seen it, I didn't do that. But unfortunately, somebody did fill in all the
You
black.
saw it on CAF looking enhanced?
I saw, yes, I forget how I saw or where I saw it enhanced in that manner. But somebody did go in and pencil in all the blacks. It was just exactly what you'd expect out of a Quietly piece like that, where you could just see, their eyes and see through. Yeah, exactly. That was it. That was all the art that was on that board when it left my hands. So. But yeah, you'll never see a Quietly cover for $500 again. I have a responsibility. I did. I just pointed it out. Whoever owns that, Quietly didn't do it. Just saying. All right. Next up, Sal Buscema. What was this one? Oh, that's right. Alpha Flight 34. You get Wolverine, Vindicator, and Lady Deathstrike. It's not, it's not a lot of heroic action on it, but for me, I mean, who didn't love the Magnolia cover on this one? So, I mean, I picked this one up off the shelf. So this is more of a kind of a nostalgic pick for me, but I'm sure it'll do well. It's got Wolverine on it, and it's from Alpha Flight.
Yeah, 3 nice big panels with lots of action. And that cover is so great, though. I keep looking at the cover. That's what they're doing with this. They're trying to trick you. You just keep looking at the cover.
They almost never do that. I didn't read the description, but I thought, are they trying to give us the idea that they're throwing the comic in with it? Because they never show. And why would you show a cover? Is it the cover scene? No, it's not even really the cover scene. Come on. So I don't know what they're doing there. I've not seen that done before. Sean Gordon Murphy, Tokyo Ghost page. Yeah, they're obviously I've shown a lot of Sean's work in the past, but I just thought this was a nice page, and you know, I have not read. No, wait, I did read Tokyo Ghost. That's I was gonna say I hadn't, but I actually picked up the trade from that one. So nice work as always from him. Then this one was funny. When I first saw the thumbnail, I thought it was like Gene Colan or something, and then I looked at the detail image, and it wasn't. It was Irv Novick. I love throwing Wonder Woman across the all those panels like that. I just thought it was a nice effect. I'm sure as a colored comic page, it was probably pretty striking. So the layout on that one was the appeal there. Yeah,
No,
and
it is. It's different for sure.
And then these you just don't see anymore. When Felix did the drop for the Axe Wielder John artwork, I think it was a sellout or it was close to a sellout. I remember I didn't get to look at too much of it, so it's rare to see these come up on market, on the market at all. And so these were oversized, and most pages were done on 3 separate boards. So this is a single page from the book done on 3 separate boards. It made it a little weird. Some of the pages were taped together, others were not. So these 3 weren't. But if you were looking for Patera Axe Wielder John example, there aren't a lot out there, but you can get one on Heritage. And I got those.
Yeah, I haven't seen. You're right. I haven't seen any being offered for sale until now.
No, since the drop. I remember when Felix dropped it. I hadn't read the book at the time, but I checked the dropout, and I thought the art's awesome. Nick's work is fantastic, and
I thought it was a super fun book too, in that you wanted to immediately pick up and find out what happens next.
Mm-hmm. Well, I have a copy of it finally. I got it from Nick at the show. He gave me one, so I haven't read it yet. I've got 4 days of no streaming. I think I should probably read it before my next stream.
What are you going to do with yourself?
I have absolutely no idea.
Get that chicken coop sorted out.
Well, yeah, we did. We had to order the chickens. We're gonna get them.
Right, they're coming in April. You said
they're coming in April, and we're gonna actually have a coop, and then we're gonna have a cage thing around it. So I've already picked out the cage because I did a lot of research on that. But any coop that I picked out, Maureen didn't like. So I told her this weekend she has to pick out the coop because we needed ordered, so we have everything set up in time. So that is one thing I will be doing this weekend, is picking out the coop with her, so we can finally get actually started on this thing.
It'll be fun to name the chickens.
Yeah, I'm gonna leave that up to the girls. And speaking of the girls, I have to let everybody know Emma got accepted into that animation program at.
Congratulations! That's fantastic.
Yes, she is at UCF, so she's super thrilled. She not even half the people who applied got in, and so yeah, she's excited. It's 2 years worth of intensive animation instruction, and she's really excited. So I was so proud of her.
I'm looking forward to seeing her experiments on CAF in various
Exactly. That's I won't put any pressure on her, but exactly, she could be helping us out with some animation and design stuff, and she'll actually be on campus in Orlando, which is all my kids have always done everything remote. So this will be a little weird having a daughter or any child of mine away from home going to college. So
it's a good distance though, because
it's only an hour away. And I looked at Maureen and I'm like, she'll come home every weekend, and Maureen's like, she might come home once a month on a weekend. I'm like, really? I'm not ready.
Depends on how much laundry she has.
That is true. Well, I'll let everybody know. Everybody thought she did a good job. She did. She worked really hard. We had private art lessons for the last year, and the goal with the woman that we're working with was we wanted her to work on a portfolio, and the woman did really, really well with her. It just gave her the right subjects to work on, and that was the first person. I think that woman learned that she got in before she told me, because she wanted to let her know that all that effort finally paid off.
Oh, man, that's great, and it's exciting.
It is. It really is cool. So back to the picks here. I've only got a couple more because I think I actually picked over 10 this time. So this is a piece from Jeff Lemire, right? From Sweet Tooth. They don't come up that often. I thought this was a really nice one. Jackson Geis. This is something from like Aliens,
That's nice.
Predator. Yeah, that first panel. Well, the whole page is awesome. But yeah, that first panel was very striking. Yeah, I mean, I'm not a big Aliens, Predator fan, but the artwork is phenomenal, and it's it's Barretto inks on this one. Yeah, I like that. Yeah, okay, so that was my 10th pick. I threw in 2 extra ones, even though I said it wasn't a great week. I did pick 12 pieces. You get a Dennis Cowan, Tom Palmer, Captain America, Black Panther, Flags of Our Fathers, just in time for Alberto to rejoin the stream. So that was not on purpose, Alberto, but there you have it. And what did I pick? Oh, a Wally Wood piece, Woodlings. I mean, it's it's kind of like not the atypical stuff from Wally Wood that people might be looking for, but these tend to be semi-affordable, and typically you don't get a lot of characters in it. So I thought this was kind of cool, well lit, and all of the figures are unique and distinct. So there you have it. That's my heritage picks. All right. Okay. Yes, Derek. But we know a few people who are actually. I know. Well, I know a couple collectors who probably would be interested in that page. Anyway, next up, we can show the EXP preview for tomorrow, and then get on with the CAF update. So I believe Nick is doing a show tomorrow. I did not watch this video clip before I loaded it up here in the studio. So we'll see what Nick has to say, what he's showing tomorrow, and yeah, then you can tune in at 7 o'clock tomorrow on the EXP.
This Friday, February 28th, 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Pacific, the original art experience is back. I mean, we've been here. We've had a lot of shows. We help support Officer Roscoe's family. Other stuff happened. I want to thank everybody who's reached out and been so kind. Thank you. It always makes a tough time go easier when you have people that care, friends, and I really appreciate it. But we have some really cool art this Friday, and I want to show you what it is. Did I mention 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Pacific? So we have Red Sonja Attacks Mars #2 by Jay Lee. You gotta love it. He's still going through his Frazetta phase, which is just beautiful. Then we got Mannix, Thundercats cover. Check it out. I'm going to put something on the air, kind of like get everybody excited. This is House of Mystery 310 cover by Michael Kaluta, one of the greatest artists the industry's ever had. This is one of the most iconic covers that he has ever drawn, and one of the most iconic House of Mystery covers. This is from George Perez's private collection. I did pick this up, and I want to get more of a hook for you guys to be back on Friday. Then we have more Mannix, and this is Silverhawks cover. Then we have more Silverhawks with Bagley. Check it out. Then we've got Bagley's creator-owned book, Brilliant, 2-page spread, and you never know. Issue 2, maybe I'll do the 2-page spread for 200. You got to tune in Friday to check it out. Then we have Spawn the Undead #6. Check it out. Then we have Dale Eaglesham JSA. Excuse me, #1, page 14. Wow, I think this is the only #1 page that from issue 1 page that I have. I probably have 1 or 2 others. I can't remember right now. I still have a million things going on. Leonard Kirk, Captain Britain page. And check out this gorgeous Jim Starlin, Mystery in Space, The Weird. And, I mean, tell me, does that not look like early 80s Starlin when he was doing Dreadstar? It's just out of this world. Speaking of Starlin, this is not for sale, but I thought people would love to see it. Around 1993, I think it was 93, maybe it was 94, Marvel released the Infinity Crusade, and there was a poster that Marvel gave away, and Jim laid out the pencils on 2 sheets before actually drawing it. So, Lightbox based on this. Is that out of this world or what? So, not for sale, but I thought it would be cool to check out. Got a couple of other pieces that I'll be showing on Friday. for the private collection. I mean, God, let me just show this one more time. I mean, check it out. I mean, look, you've got Cyclops, had to mention him first, Captain America. You've got everybody from Thor, Drax the Destroyer, Quicksilver, Moon Knight, Captain America. Again, wow, he's in 2 places at once. Iron Man, Mr. Fantastic, Incredible Hulk, Sleepwalker, wow, Daredevil, Nova, I'm just jumping around, Rogue, Gambit, Archangel, Spider-Man. I mean, this is the Thing. Check it out. There's so much going here. Guido, Warlock. This is crazy. Hercules. All this art, I mean, it goes all the way down there to Mephisto. God, the Beast, Professor X. So much more. So beautiful. So, give it a closer look on Friday. February 28th, 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Pacific on the Original Art Experience. Hit that thumbs up, and I look forward to seeing you on Friday.
There you go. He'll be back showing off some stuff that's not for sale, but
I don't know how he does it. I get tired just thinking about Nick's life sometimes.
yeah, I don't know how he does it either, but you know, he stays up till 4 in the morning and gets up rather early still. I don't know, but he frequently emails me between 3 and 4 a.m. I mean, whenever I get anything work related or, hey, I forgot to remind you about this thing, it's always after 3 o'clock.
Wow.
I don't know. I can't do it. I've had a melatonin by midnight and I'm out cold until 8 a.m. usually. Oh man, but all right, but yeah, so tomorrow night, 7 o'clock, and on all of Nick's channels, whether it's Facebook, YouTube, you name it, he's on them all. I think he even streams on Instagram now. Something we still have not done to any degree around here, but maybe one day. Nick at night, Stingray. That is so true. Okay. All right, let's get into our calf update, right? So we can, this is, what do we got? We got some dealer updates and we got some auction house stuff. So dealers average week, 260,000 in sales. You got Felix leading the way, 127 of that. So he basically got half of it. And he's doing an art drop tomorrow, right? I forget, who was it for?
Snot Girl and the
the sketch
Scott
card?
Pilgrim trading cards.
The trading cards, that's right. So yeah, so he's gonna be busy. I think that's like there's like 50 trading card, sketch card size pieces, and then there's the whole Snot Girl issue 16. So I have a feeling that that Felix will be leading the way again next week. Albert had 46,000 in sales. Mike had 35. Anthony had what did he have? My goodness, 16. And Panel Page and Next Comic Art rounded out the top 6. Okay, so what do we got? Top 6 sales from last week from all of these dealers. What are they? So we have this Jack Kirby and Steve Ditko Tales to Astonish page. It's from issue 50, page 9. Albert sold this with the asking price of $28,000. Ditko Kirby. I mean, that's kind of cool. Next up. Well, actually, John Byrne is on the next 2 pages. This is from FF 248, and it's got Black Bolt all over it. Got the FF all over it. It's a great page. It's from page 11 from 248, 8,500 on that one. Then you got an Action Comics Superman page from issue 594, sold by Glenn, $6,500 asking price on that one. Then we have a Challengers of the Unknown cover from 1968. You got Bob Brown and Mike Esposito on this one. Is that a D&D die? That's like a 20-sided die there that kid's trapped in. Then we have 2 Nick Klein pieces. We have the DPS from issue 19, and this one sold for $6,000 by Felix. And then we also have this cover by Nick Klein from issue 19, sold for $6,000 as well.
Was this the issue? I think that was like Legacy 700 or something.
I think you're right. Yeah, Nick Klein's pretty awesome. Like
yeah, that black and white page was wild.
Yeah, he's definitely. You can tell how much he enjoys working on it. I've got one of his Thor pages, and yeah, he's awesome. roll initiatives. Marvel fan. He did. Didn't the kid look like he was trapped in a D&D die? I don't know. Auction houses. Auction houses had an average week, 300,000 in sales, roughly, compared to 351 last week. We can take a look at the top 3 from Heritage and the top 3 from eBay next. And where's that one? This was it right here. So eBay is first, and this first one is a Frank Cho Liberty Meadows piece, and it did sell for $5,000. I actually I've been double checking the eBay sales of late just so I don't get them wrong, because the next 2 were best offers, but these don't come up that often, the dailies, so 5,000 doesn't surprise me at all. We have a Jack Kirby, Murphy Anderson, Superman's pal Jimmy Olsen. This was listed as sold at just under 4,000. It actually went at a best offer at $2,500. So that's a pretty fair price on a Kirby from that time period. Then you got a Gerald Threat Magic the Gathering card art piece. This one was listed at $3,000 and sold at best offer for $2,750. So you just never know. 250 is 250. Then the Heritage picks. We got this Robson Roca Supergirl number 10 cover pencils, went for $10,200. You got a Joe Kubert GI Combat cover to issue 287, went for $9,600. And finally, we have a Carlos Pacheco Avengers Forever DPS going for $8,400. And again, back to some of the modern stuff is just hard to price, and modern being like the last 20 years. I would never invest $8,400 on that. But I mean, Pacheco's no longer with us. It was incredible, and again, it's like you want to get a great example, and you like that book. Hey, $8,400 might have felt like a deal.
It is hard to wrap your head around the value that other people assign to certain pages. Not that it doesn't deserve it, but
no, I know. I mean, we're always kind of.
I feel like it's such a strong result.
Right. Right. I mean, when I looked at that Corday, I felt like I could go 1,500, even though I knew that. And in my heart, I'm feeling that's at least 20% too much, right? It should be $1,250 or $1,200, but I'm willing to go 15, and that wasn't even enough. Somebody with
and even the Frank Cho, like you said, there's not a lot of them out there, but that's a very solid result.
Exactly. Yeah.
And he has flat files full of them, right?
Right. I think he's probably released less than 20 or maybe 30. I know he's said it publicly before. I had him on a couple of years ago. I think he said how many he sold, but just not many, right? He's got them all. So, hey, more power to him, I guess. But yeah, so if you want an example, you either have to get a remark in a book of some kind or pay $5,000. But I think to me that's well worth it. If you love Liberty Meadows, that's the way to go. All right, so we can go and take a look at picks. And just so you know, because we're making great time, I threw your alternates in there, but at the end after mine. So we're gonna hit those. Except
we have to put an asterisk on one of them.
We do, and because I read your email and I didn't get a chance to look at the links until about an hour before the show. So I was curious, which piece was it? And then clearly you knew what one it was, but it was a really cool piece, and I think definitely worth talking about. So, all right, let me share the right screen here, and we can dive into these picks. And let's see. All right, so we maybe resize the screen just a little bit. Let's see everything a little bit better. There we go. All right, so whose gallery are we in? Oh, that's right. Derek starts us off today. And John Byrne, we were just talking about John Byrne a lot. And here we go. We got something from John, right to get things started.
As Snorik would say, this is my nostalgia pick. I think it's a great page as well. And it's a great example of Byrne on this run. But also I love the story. And so I was really thrilled to see it. Even happier to see it in Derek's collection, who's a great fan of this work as well. And Tentacles.
Plenty of tentacles. Who knew they lived?
Tentacles.
Right, exactly. It's so close. They got to be right next to Metropolis, right? I mean, who would have thought that you'd have a giant octopus that close to town? But no, I'm totally with you. And the thing is, I didn't get to say it because the the slide went by so quickly. But the John Byrne Superman stuff is the prices are getting really,
Was it 6,000 for that page with just like no real Superman figure on it?
Right. Well, he was in the bottom.
He had that
But
look
still,
of when he was under
right,
mind
and
control.
just try to get a page from the first 5 issues of that limited series thing that he started. I mean, those again, John Byrne got me to buy a DC book and a Superman DC book, no less, when he did that. But those pages when they come up, I mean, people will fight at each other over it. It's crazy, but cool to see, right? I mean, it takes the right artist and the right story, I think. But the professor did very well with that one. I
But
like
he's
this.
been on a tear. He's been doing
He
very,
has,
very well.
yeah, and he's also been doing a lot of video posts. I mean, he actually posted himself here as Pee Wee Herman. So I don't know if everybody else saw that. So if you go to this piece, you can catch what Derek did while he was at OAXExpo by following. You can watch it right here on CAF if you were so interested. We're not going to watch it here tonight, everybody, but I'm just saying you can do that. And look, he's manipulating the size of. I wonder what that does on the app, Mikhail. What do you think about that?
You just don't see anything, I believe.
I think you're right. I think we excluded any code that had embed in it, and that's what I think the YouTube stuff starts. So we tried hiding things that might skewer the formatting on the app. But yeah, good pickup. Dare we say great pickup for Derek.
And do give his he's got a YouTube channel associated with the podcast, which has been fun. I need to catch up on the last few episodes.
All right. As do I. Now this was cool because it's in Marcus was at OAX, of course, exhibiting, and I saw several collectors come away with some pieces, but here's something that Marcus posted to his CAF gallery. And what was the Dominic Baylor? I don't believe I've seen that name before.
But like you said, he was at OAX and his table was like a hidden little treasure chest that so many collectors went to and found a really fun, interesting piece that they really enjoyed finding and having. I know Ian Saint got one that he was really thrilled with and said it ended up being one of his favorite pieces from the show. So it had a great vibe to it. And I listened to his interview on the show, and his passion for it really comes through, and you get the sense of these pieces that he's collecting. And it's so impressive, that this publication's been going for so long, to have such a continuous run. And then I thought this was really compelling as an image. It kind of brings to mind the bottled city of Candor a little bit, but there's so much story that you can assign to this image just by looking at it, like what could be happening.
Yeah, no, it's very, very cool. And you're right about Marcus. I mean, he's a relatively new collector, but amassed such a huge collection just by some of it by chance and other by just he's so in love with this genre, this in particular this periodical. But yeah, I mean,
that story about when he visited the widow of the artist was wild.
Right, where he had to rent a truck to come, and some helpers to have him load it. I mean, that's
what did he say? 2,000 pieces?
It was like 2,000 pieces. I'm sure it was there was a lot of money exchanged hands for that, but still, that's a once in a lifetime moment, right? But again, I think he said, what was it, 6 or 7 years he's been collecting. So yeah, you don't see too many collectors like go that hard, right? But he's passionate, and that's well, I want to say he's older. It's he's more mature. He can dive in at that age. When guys are in their 30s, they're not going to be buying 2,000 pieces at a crack. But anyway, let's move on from this one. But I'm gonna have to double check. I don't think I follow Marcus's CAF gallery, so I'm gonna need to add him to my set because I didn't see this piece until you highlighted it, and I always look a couple times a day at my new feed on the app, and I did not see this piece until until today. Aranga. Look at Aranga.
I hated picking something from Aranga, really. But this piece is amazing. This piece is, I hate picked it. I was kicking myself when Aranga revealed to us that he got it. I really just kicked myself, because when I saw this image on social media and saw that it was Pepe, I just assumed it was digital, because most of the work that he does is digital.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't even think to reach out and ask about it or to try and get it. And I think it's just, it's such a great piece. It's a landmark issue, 700. It really commemorates this story that just wrapped up, that I thought was really well done, that a lot of people enjoyed, the Krakowan age. So yeah, it's fantastic.
Yeah, no, I felt the same way. And it seemed, what did he have on his, and I threw a lot of extra images, the way it was originally published or was going to be published, how they used it in ads. I agree. I mean, it's just, I would have picked this one if you hadn't. It's such a darn good image. And Aranga, he gets so lucky with commissions. He picks up stellar.
No, he's got the eye, and he makes the right choices when asking for
right
something.
Okay, you're right. Luck has nothing to do with it.
I hadn't even noticed that Deadpool. Look at how great that Deadpool is on the nose of the ship.
Mm-hmm. Well, congrats, Aranga. He can open his own.
Even Cyclops looks like a reasonable human being.
Yeah, he does, doesn't he? Gosh, this is so
it's
good.
The smile. The smile doesn't fit on his face, so it really makes it.
All right, we're gonna have to move on from this one. All right, I don't want to look at Cyclops anymore. Look how smug Gambit looks back there. He's like, I got her. I've had most of these ladies too. So come on. All right, wait a minute. Did I get my like on that one? I don't. No, I knew I didn't do that. All right, there we go. Now, Guy Mills collection, and this is, of course, Al Williamson Blade Runner page from issue 1. I want a page from this from Blade Runner. I've always wanted one. Just classic movie, and there's so every scene was great, so it almost doesn't matter what page from the book you would get, because it's going to be something memorable.
Yes, every time I see one, it just drags you back into the movie, and he's done, and this is a very dialogue heavy page as well, but they've still crammed so much action and detail into it.
Yeah, I love this panel here, but yeah, exactly.
And the other thing I found interesting about this piece is that the owner, it seems, when you look at the statistics, he was a member for 10 years before he even posted anything. And then it's only in the last 2 years that they've been posting.
Right. Yeah,
so
Anthony.
I always enjoy seeing that little clue to how someone collects and how they choose to share.
Agreed. Anthony had a couple of pages like 2 or 3 months ago, and he had them for like 5,000 each, which I thought was probably about what the market is on them. And I thought, it was right before Christmas or something. I was like, I can't do it. But I thought about it. I've always wanted one. But James Siegel.
This is a great moment in the movie too, when he's having the discussion with her and her coming to terms with what she's thinking about herself.
Right. I mean, the last panel is awesome. But I saw James is like, he has an OCD problem with the counts up here. I have purposefully been not clicking on them, because my likes one is up to 925.
So you want to see what happens at 999?
I want to see if CAF breaks for me when it hits 1,000. So I've been waiting. So everybody, come on, man. I'll start commenting more if you start liking my comments more and liking my artwork more. I'll start posting more. But I gotta hit 1,000. So because I want to know what happens, because I'm sure nobody else, who uses CAF would ever let any of those counts hit 4 figures. So this is an experiment.
All right. So, but then you have to record the screen and catch
I will.
the 1,000.
I definitely will. And Yeah, no, it's trust me, I check it every day because I'm waiting for it to hit 1,000. Okay, there you go. And when it happens, James, I will. I might even videotape the event of me clearing out the 1,000 when I do. So again, Guy Mills, congrats on this one. And what do we got next here? This is in Brian Phillips Calf Gallery. James Heron. How awesome! I love Heron's work.
Yeah, this is one of those pieces I saw on social media first and was immediately struck by it. And then when it popped up on CAF, I was thrilled to see it again. The starkness that he achieves and the contrast between the two characters is just fantastic.
Oh yeah, no, I love Vader, and just glowing red. I mean, that's such a great image. But no, I love this piece.
And I guess it comes somewhat directly from the miniseries when she's having her flashbacks and her dream sequences with Anakin/Vader.
Oh, very, very nice pickup, Brian. Next up, Billy Henson. So this is good. So you're picking people who we haven't picked often before. Now this is let's see, it's a magic illustration. Is it Celso Mazzone? Or Kelso Mazzone? Do you know?
I never heard of them. I found them on Instagram.
Wow.
But it's great. It's a really fun, well executed, well planned out piece.
Wow, that's really, really nice. Huh. All right, well, I'm gonna have to look them up too. Instagram, you say? That's where to find them?
Right, but it's on Instagram, it's Celso Mazzine. So
Mazzine. So maybe we've spelled the name wrong here. Well, either way, I'm going to get a like on it, and I'll save this page for later. So Billy Henson, 15-year member of CAF. Almost, well, heck, on Saturday, we can say it's their 15th anniversary. We'll say March 1st for them. Very nice. And they're linking to their Instagram in there too. Okay. Oh, and look at you're right. See, he put an O in there, and you're right. Look over here in the signature, Mazzine, Mazine. Okay. Well, I'm glad you mentioned that, or I probably would have been searching and never finding them. Okay, so Raj Patel, the Greg Smallwood piece, Mr. Miracle.
Raj has been putting together a great Mr. Miracle themed gallery, and I love Greg Smallwood's work, and to see traditional examples of it is pretty rare. There were actually 2 on CAF this week, and I gave a slight edge to this one, although the other was fantastic as well, in Indiana Jones. But yeah, he's like Somni, right? It seems simple, but it's very carefully considered. The execution is fantastic, and it has that classic vibe.
Yeah, the lighting on it's amazing.
Did you read the Human Target book from a couple years ago?
I did not. No, I didn't.
But even though it's DC, it's lots of fun.
Yeah.
And really gorgeous. Really an exemplary example of digital work.
Well, here now, I didn't see the Indiana Jones, so all right. I'm just gonna, even though we didn't feature it, we're going over to look anyway. So AK Comic Art Gallery. That's nice. Gosh, such simple line work and get so much out of it. That's amazing. Yeah.
He really leans into textures, and he's remarkably skilled digitally and traditionally.
Wow. Huh. Very nice. Human Target was beautiful, says Stingray. Okay. Exemplary example. Wink, wink from Alberto. Aha. All right. Where are we going to from here? Sean Marsh. And I didn't see this one until you picked it. And this the finish on this one was just kind of surprising. We're so used to like crisp line work, and then to see a lot of small work in a piece from him is just it just was it was kind of surprising. I mean, I know they're out there, but you just don't see many of them. And this is so well done. I'm gonna open it in a new tab so we can look at it full screen. There we go. Gosh, that's kind of a haunting image. I hate to say it. I almost used this for the image in the mailing, and the more I looked at it, the more I thought
It's a little bit dark.
it's a little bit darker than I thought. You know, the woman clutching the child. You know, a guy with the whatever collar on himself, and yeah, it is. But man, Death Dealer never looks so darn cool.
I thought it was fantastic, and I don't know if it's this piece or not, where he also linked to some video of him executing the piece.
Of Kim actually doing the work. Oh yeah.
Oh yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay. Well, I'll have to look at those after the show. Cool. Did you mention what the size is on this? No. Huh. All right. Well, I guess we'll get to see it in the video. The mob rules 1 minute later. And NSN. Nice to have you in the chat, Michael. Let me see. I did like that one. All right, good. So we can look at the next piece here. Felix Liu. We all know which piece this one was.
And there were 2 8-ball pages as well this
There
week.
were. I know. I know. I mean, they were both really, really fun too. It's but I like, I'm sure. Tell me why you like this one.
I liked how encapsulated it is. It really it stands alone. You've got the artist in it, and I thought what he was saying was really, nice, and it resonated a little bit. So.
Mm-hmm. No, same here. 8-ball was fun and a challenge to read at times, for different reasons. But I always loved, like you just said, the encapsulated story. It's back to the one-page thing. It's like, well, what's going on over at IC3, right?
Exactly.
I mean, tell a great
Nice
story in
job,
one
Bill.
page.
Full circle.
Yeah, really. So no, but we know Felix always gets. I mean, he always gets the choice pieces. I thought this one was really, really an awesome pickup for the same reason. To have a great story in one page that just wise up ladies. Anyway, I have that one piece from 8-ball. I'd love to have another one, probably, one of these days. But I think this is just great. And pages like this, these are the ones. I mean, I'm sure, I don't know, everybody's CAF experience is probably a little different. There's not a lot of times I like to go back to pages that I've seen already, because it's like I have a mental image of it. But it's something, but a piece like this, I would go back and read again, because it's just to re-experience the piece. I don't do that a lot with most pieces on CAF after I've seen it once, unless it's something I've I do go back and kind of check my liked artworks every now and again just to kind of see, what historically have I looked at. But yeah, I would go back to this one and read it again.
I could, yeah. I think I could probably count on both hands the number of pieces that occasionally I'll go back to and just admire because I really enjoy them. So it is a rare thing.
Mm-hmm. All right. Now, next up, we have a Mr. Miracle page in Mark V's CAF Gallery, Steve Rude and Mike Royer. Great choice of inker for a Steve Rude piece.
Exactly. I mean, he's such a Kirby fan. So to have Royer on inks is really appropriate. And it reminded me a little bit of his World's Finest work. With the nice dark inks, the layout. Rude always really pushes the boundaries on layout, and this one is absolutely fantastic.
Yeah, no, it really is. It's Rude is a special artist. He's just he's so talented, and yeah, you're right. The layout on this thing is the best part of it, but he can draw.
The Barda's great.
Oh, yeah, man. No, I'd be happy to have this one myself. And there was a Steve Rude piece in the Heritage Weekly auction. Everybody just, it was a Nexus page. So I didn't see stuff I didn't like. I just saw some things that I didn't want to pick, multiple times over multiple shows. So anyway, just throw that out there. So Steve Rude, Mike Royer, in Mark V's calf gallery. Now, what was this? Oh, I'm back on that page. Okay, let me close that. Okay, so my picks. This is one of your alternates, but I had picked this one earlier in the week.
I was fairly confident.
Yeah, Simon was very happy, on social media when he was sharing this, and who wouldn't be, right? I mean, what an incredible page. I mean, a lot of the Mazzucchelli pages that have come up haven't had a whole lot of action on them, and the ones that have went for crazy money on Heritage a year and a half or 2 years ago or whatnot. So, to have a page that's this dynamic, so many things happening. You even got a photographer wedged in between all the action. It's just a fun page. I mean, just capturing all these moments. I mean, and there isn't one panel that isn't like kind of rippling with something. I mean, he's got fire coming, towards him. I mean, it's just I love this. This is fantastic. And reading Simon's comments on Facebook when everybody was kind of virtually congratulating him. Have I ever read this? Yes, Marcus. There are a few things I have read in the past. And that is true. Ruben did drop a lot of art on CAF this past week with stuff for sale. There was some good stuff in there too. So if you haven't seen it,
fun stuff.
Yeah, I mean, I think at least when he was put, it was at least 30 pieces. There was some Bob Brown. There was Bob Brown Daredevil fighting Bullseye page. If I'm not
Zach
mistaken.
cap cover.
Zach cap cover too. Yeah. So hey, it's always good to see when people drop noteworthy stuff on CAF. But again, back to this piece, Simon. Congratulations, because I think Simon's got one or two other pages from this run. But boy, this is great. Really,
And
really
it's like going back to Tom's OAX video. Picking this piece also to a degree just celebrates. Like Simon didn't just walk to a dealer's table, flip through a portfolio, pull this page out, and decide to buy it. Right? He worked hard to make it happen, and it's fun to celebrate a victory like that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so true. Yeah, well, anyway, congrats, Simon. Simon's got one of he has a very cool collection, right? He's a big Keown fan, so that if you go to his calf, there is always something, that I think there's something that will always appeal to somebody. Of course, he reps all red, so there's always cool all red artwork to look at when you go into Simon's calf too. All right, next up, I picked this one. This is from Spider-Man 193, Sal Buscema. Just I honestly I liked it for the last panel. Breaking the glass and the crash.
It's great.
Yeah, I thought it was. Again, I'm not the biggest Sal fan, but I mean, but I thought it always drew action good. So I thought this was just a really cool page, and the last panel was the one that did it for me.
It's strange. I feel like a couple of pages from this run have popped up simultaneously.
Right. Wasn't this? Did Khalil have a page from this run too? I'm trying to think of a few collectors who.
I know Khalil likes Puma and has, I believe he has a page as well. And then there was another page recently of him, or maybe it's coming up at auction, but it's a page in which he basically starts to think about buying the Daily Bugle to pay off his debt to Peter. But yeah, this is a fun page. It's like does this go into the panel page category of best of, or does it go into the splash page category of best of?
I don't know. I think it would have to stay in the panel page category. But because you'd be a fool to put this in a splash page category, right? If you're trying to go after best of, you would have pretty rough competition for a splash page. But this would be a great interior page to throw out there. And I forgot who's calf gallery. Oh, Benedict Judas Hell, 5-year calf member, celebrating 5 years of calf. So congrats on that. All right, where am I going to from here? Oh, Maxi Dallo, Transformers OAX commission. I mean, I don't think there's a piece by him that I've seen that I didn't like. This one, it was funny as I knew, even when I saw the thumbnail, I knew it was his work. But the thing that really I liked the most about it was that this dark shape, of the forest in shadow and the foreground. it just framed the piece really well. I mean, because it literally comes, the tree comes up from there and it just wraps around, and then I just thought it made it look so cool. And I don't know, man, every time I see
it adds to the peacefulness of it.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's very clever. It sets him back and gives us that space. And I think this also leans into his ability to really give a lot of human depth to his illustrations. We see that a lot in the moments he chooses to illustrate, Spider-Man having a meal on a rooftop with Mary Jane. He's really good at picking these moments and illustrating them so that we see the softer side of it.
Right. No, without question. He's those Spidey images where he's eating a sandwich or whatever. I mean, they were all just so good, so good. But yeah, this is a keeper. Nice one here. And Carl, congrats on that. Another OAX pickup brought to the show. So then Eric De Los Santos. This was a Star Wars poster. Marcio Hum. I'm not sure. I'm not familiar with the artist, but I love the style. I mean, I know it's a little weird. You could say it's like kind of a chibi style, but it was fun. I think it's just well done. I love the depth of with the Death Star in the background. The composition is great, and I kept looking for. I wanted one character to like kind of fall out of the style, to not really fit in, and and they all do. I kept like, okay, it's C3PO is not going to look right. Now he looks right. I'm like, all right, tag on it. The style was maintained throughout, so I like it.
R2 is the only one who gets away with it.
Yeah, okay. We can give you that on that. You're right. R2 does not have any kind of face like that, but everything else is fantastic. And again, I had to pick a color piece that didn't belong to Jason, and I had to pick it early because I wanted to make a statement. I think I picked it on Friday last week, and I usually wait till like Monday or Tuesday to post the show graphics. But yeah, I was making sure nobody would mistake that I was going to pick anything from Jason this time around. So let me hear. So and Eric always posts good stuff. Did he? And he always writes.
Always has a great write-up. Yep.
Very nice. All right, where am I going to from here? Tom Fowler piece. This is in Andre's calf gallery. Again, kind of like the magic piece that we looked at earlier. I mean, I'm familiar with Fowler's work, of course, but I thought this is just there's almost too much action packed in this thing. I was
the comments all kind of revolve around that a little bit.
Really, I did not read them. I almost used this for the show graphic, but I couldn't figure out what to focus on.
what part to use?
Right, because there's just too much going on, and anything I cropped, it cropped out what I liked about the page, which is just there's just so much action, and the ink work in this thing is so beautiful that anything that you would, if you fixate on any area of this, it just takes away from the piece. It needs to be this thing you want to be holding it right in front of you and just thrilling to look at the darn thing, because this is so good. Doggone it. So Andre's been on a tear too, picking up some amazing pieces.
I think Andre has a bit of a problem. Andre needs to slow down.
We don't have any 10-step programs in the hobby yet, but you never know in the future. There could be something, but no, you're right. Andre's been doing.
Andre's 10-step program is 10 cons a year.
Oh man. Yeah, but congrats, Andre. I love this piece a lot. I mean, and this is a piece I'd love to see somebody color it, because I think it might, well, maybe it would take a little bit away from it, but I think it looked freaking awesome. There's just so much going on here that I'd love to see it actually colored. But either way, wonderful.
And you'd love to see it like this could be a pinup, right, at the end of a book, just a bonus piece,
right?
Colored just to look at and explore.
All right. I mean, again, I could stare at this thing for a long time, but Andre, you did very well. That one's New Mutants in Oz commission. Next up. Okay, so this is in Alberto's calf gallery. He was posting a lot of stuff.
I saw it, I liked it, but I was like, oh, it's Alberto.
I know. That's what I was thinking. I needed to avoid it too. But I just thought the composition on the piece was so good, and that it was almost impossible to not pick it. And there were a couple. Honestly, there was a couple covers by Josh that Alberto that I thought the same thing of, but this one it just for me, this it's like it's got this weird goofy cannon up here, and the period World War II, military figures, all that stuff. But it's funny, it's like you think back to a lot of those early covers with Cap or Submarine or whatever, and they're always like in the air fighting whatever. And I just feel like in a weird way, Josh is like kind of harkening back to some of those older covers. And even though it's partially you can get it from the canon and everything, but I just think throwing them on the carrier and having them be so high up in the air, all that, it just makes it awesome. Nazi vampires, huh? I didn't read this one, so if they were vampires and Nazis, that's pretty awful. But they do look like Nazi vampires, aren't they? Okay, I didn't look that close. I like the composition.
Yes, it's great. Everything funnels you into the right. Your eye moves very easily.
Yeah. Well, congrats, Alberto. You had a great week, as you always do. Next up, Silky. With Silky passing, there was a few pieces from Jim Gang posted to CAF, and we had the joke going on with Anthony the other night. So I just decided I'd pick a tried and true Jim Silky piece with Betty on it, and I think anybody who's been a fan of Jim's work and has picked things up. I mean, I remember going over to Morger's table many times back there in San Diego and getting to see, Jim Silky originals. And I mean, he drew Betty really well. I mean, not too many artists got her likeness as well. And again, this just captures all the stuff that when I think of Jim Silky, I'll probably always think of Betty Page. So I wasn't going to pass up talking about this one.
It's almost like as an artist, I just have seen more of Adam Hughes's work, but this is like if Adam Hughes was painting, I feel like this is what you would get, or this is an example of that in a sense. But because you've got great expressions, great rendering.
Yeah, that's nice. Well, so and again, Mark Levy. I didn't even realize it was Mark's CAF gallery. Yeah, congrats, Mark. Mark's again another guy with an incredible eye and a wonderful CAF gallery that everybody who's premium should be watching it. And if you're not premium and you're on the app, you can watch I think 5 galleries at a time. So you could add them to your list. Dave Stevens did a panel in the series. I was gonna say Dave Stevens would probably be the only artist that I would rank drawing Betty Page, over Silky. I mean, Linsner does a good job, but Silky and Dave are unparalleled. Next up, okay, this is in Jordan's CAF gallery. I just kind of picked this one because to me it's kind of cool, historical. And when I was a wee lad trying to complete my Thor run, this was an issue that it took me a while to buy because it was always priced higher than all the issues around it with the first Warlock in it. And it was one of the last I'd gotten, dinged up copies of early Journey to Mystery, but trying to get a bad copy of this one, it took me almost forever. And it literally was one of the last books that I picked up completing the run when I was like 17 of Thor. So it eluded me for a long time. But so I thought this was just cool to see. I don't know if Jordan's recently picked it up or if it's one of those first appearance things that he's dusted off that he's had in a bin or something for a long time. But either way, I thought this was a really great page. I don't know, first Warlock, I Am Born Once More. This panel's a little weird, right? It's like it is. I think it is Coletta Inks at the end of the day, right? Yeah, Vince Coletta Inks. So all these pages have backgrounds, and then it's like this one. It's like they just left
His
it
way
out.
super intricate,
Right.
costume.
Yeah, I'm gonna blacken him in the figure, and I'm gonna leave him standing in front of a wall with nothing on it. All right.
But the top 2/3 is a nice classic rebirth Lazarus Pit kind of situation.
Yeah, definitely. So Jordan, congrats! Another first appearance in his collection. Then this is in number one Marvel fan, and we were looking at artwork in Aranga's calf gallery earlier, and now we get to look at a piece by Aranga with this one.
He is the best of us.
He is. He really is. And I love seeing, how his Aranga was good when we first started seeing him draw stuff. He's just gotten so much better. And this was one of all the pieces that I think I saw posted to CAF or on Facebook or wherever else post OAX. This is probably my favorite. And I think the composition's fantastic. He tackles a character that we all kind of joke about is the one the artists don't like to draw, and he just like leaned into this thing. The planet, the space behind him is great. The posture. I mean, I just think this is freaking awesome. And if Aranga keeps drawing like this, guy's got a bright future, because this is great.
I think when you look at Aranga's pieces, this one has a little bit more black, solid black in it.
Right.
Which is kind of interesting. But
yeah,
fantastic. It's really
and that might be a part of it. I don't know. And the ink wash and in space, there's just, and in his costume, it's the right balance. Because Aranga's, I feel like he's just getting started. He's probably learning a lot with every single piece he does, but it all came together perfectly in this one. So Tom, congrats. All I can ask you for is a bigger scan. You are premium. I knew you were double check. Give us a bigger scan of this thing, Tom. Or did you? If you did it through the app, it still should have been bigger. Anyway, next, let's see what we got here. Okay, this is my last pick, and I don't know, Chris Stevens. You could pick a piece from Chris Stevens all the time, right? I mean, if it's in color, if it's in black and white, it don't matter. Compositionally, the piece will be great, and if it's got color, he's gonna challenge himself to do something that most other artists wouldn't do. And so I love the red and the purple together. I think the composition is, it's very dynamic. I mean, you've got the action lines throughout this go in different directions. It's pulling your eye all around. I just think it's just another masterpiece by Chris. He's just so darn good. And this is in it wasn't Michael.
Yeah. Oh. Did you saw the Chris Stevens piece that they had out at OAX, right?
I did not. I didn't get to look at Chris's stuff at all.
Oh, it was wild to see the colors in person, and the workmanship and the kind of craftsmanship that he puts into those things. Wow. Really impressive.
I'll have to go back and look at some photos and say, yeah, I didn't. I looked at Dragota's. I did talk to Nick, to thank him for coming to the show. So I looked at his stuff really briefly, but I think Nick was the only person at Felix's table that I spoke to during the show. I mean, I talked to Patera in the lobby a few times, but yeah, I didn't get to look at Chris Stevens stuff at all.
You didn't have to look at it. They had this giant poster-sized piece on an easel.
Really? I don't know how I missed that then. You make me feel bad. All right, I'll go back and look. But anyways, wonderful pickup, Mr. Wygant. Another great piece in his collection. So that was my last one, but we have 4 other tabs here to finish off the night. You would pick some alternates, and I think that I leave the one. No, I didn't. The third piece is the one that we're gonna have fun talking about. But this is in Greg Wilson's calf gallery, Amazon Woman, from Tom Simonton, and if Anthony were looking at this, we know he'd say haunches and stuff like that. But tell me why you picked this one.
I don't know. I really, it didn't make the final cut, but like you said, I was looking for artists and galleries that we don't normally sometimes get into. And this one was kind of strange. You've got the kind of space ballsy element to it with the, off-brand Star Wars characters. And the dialogue doesn't really make sense.
No, but Look at that last panel. I mean, there's a
There's a
little
lot
bit
of
of
different
opening.
techniques. It's very striking.
Right. That is fun. I mean, there's a lot of effort put into this page. Whatever campy storyline they were working on, it's the art's really well done. Yeah, ass up, Marcus. There you go. Chewbacca.
And
Yeah,
then if you check the artist, I think that they're mainly a painter.
huh. So there are other pieces by Tom Simonton on calf. Let's see. Okay. Well, what do you got? 17 pieces, so not a lot. Greg Wilson looks like he owns most of them, at least most of the recent stuff. And you're right. Okay, painting. Huh. I'm not familiar with them at all. Uh-oh. If they're in Craig McMillan's calf gallery, you know they're going to be naughty. So it's a good thing he's got those locked up. We're not clicking on those tonight. Well, cool. I mean, I'm not familiar with the artist, but I will leave this tab open for later. Now,
For research.
yeah, research, exactly. All right, where are we going to from here now? Pablo Marcos from Erie 107, and this is the gallery title is Passion Room. Whose calf gallery is this? MYC in the Passion Room. Okay, and Pablo Marcos, explain yourself.
I thought it was just a fun, like, you know, the guys up there just mansplaining and bro-splaining, and she's just like, I'm not going to take any of this. Wax him on the head, and then I really liked the triplicate kind of fade to black.
Oh, that's great. Yeah, I didn't even look at the last 4 panels. That's awesome. He's got like the the Looney Tunes. He's out.
Exactly. Yeah, he's got the stars going around his head.
This is nice. What year is this? 1979. Yeah, this is like something I would have read at the when I'm just like looking at the comics on the stands, or maybe one of the Erie magazine, and didn't buy it, but I thumbed through it. This is awesome. She looks cold. Stingray. Yeah, she does. Yeah, I'll leave this one up for research later too. Okay, 2 more pieces to look at from here. Now here's one. Now this is in whose calf gallery? Richard F's calf gallery. And this is, go ahead. I'll let you take this.
I just again, you're browsing thousands of thumbnails when you do the picks, and this one really stood out, very vibrant, and it is digital work, so that was the caveat on it. But and it was, I felt a really nice, different image. I thought the colors were great. The execution is really interesting. Reminded me of one of Daryl's Lone Wolf and Cub pieces,
which we're going to look at next. Yeah. No, I thought the composition of this thing was great too. And when you're looking at thumbnails, sometimes you just don't know, whether it's a digital monoprint sometimes or a piece like this. So, no.
I wanted it to be traditional in some form or the other, bad enough where I even left a comment asking if any part of it was traditional.
Anton, so we just decided to show this. This is an alternate pick. We're doing the last couple alternate picks. We don't lean into the digital side of things. And AI, no, we don't lean into the AI side of things either. But one last pick, just because you did mention Daryl, and this is another OAX pickup. Marco Rudy was wowing many collectors over the weekend, picking up their pre-OAX stuff. Surprising we didn't get a art pickup with Marco. That would have been fun. But
yes,
Daryl, yeah, because we were in kind of on the commission emails that went out. I mean, Daryl, I got to see this piece ahead of the show, and I remember he was just blown away. And it's kind of weird reading other people's reactions and having Marco send a scan, and he would CC us on it. But he did it with everybody, and so it was awesome to get to see, knowing that Marco had this customer service aspect to it, where you wanted people to see it even before they got to see it to the show, and they were happy. And again, this is just a great example from there. Oh, and there's a picture of them. See, this is almost as good as the video that Tom shot, I guess, right? Let's see. Look at that. Daryl's got a big smile on his face.
I love this piece from the moment I saw it. Just it's so striking, and talk about a great thumbnail for the show.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that is great.
So I think it's been great, but we've been picking Marco pieces, so I thought we'd just give it an honorable mention. But as the chat is cottoning on to, he's a great artist to try and commission, and he really gives it 1,000%.
It's true. And if I hadn't, it was Heroes, right? Yeah, Heroes, where I got to see Stingray's piece, and I'd seen some pieces by Marco he was posting to CAF, but it was Stingray's Stingray commission that he picked up at Heroes. That was the thing that was like, all right, we got to get this guy to come by, because his work was so unique. And yeah.
I was thrilled, and he's really quite quick, because I saw Iranga's finished commission on social media and then reached out to him, and he still was able to do a piece for me for the show.
Yeah, no, he was. And again, anybody that takes care of their customers like that, and keeps producing works that are that stand out that much. And I mean, because not every artist is going to work in color like that, and his stuff it was just striking. I mean, yeah, he was a great guest to have at the show, definitely. Well, Mikhail,
we did it.
Yeah, and it's under 2.5 hours. I'm so happy and impressed. This is a good kind of a scale for me to try to shoot for. But thank you for stepping in for Chris. I know he had some dinner plans or something like that, but you're more than welcome.
He's actually in Boston right now.
Oh, seriously? So he was. I didn't realize he was traveling too.
He had dinner plans in Boston.
Well, gosh, lucky for him. Yeah, can I pick an obituary for next week? I will not talk about any. I accidentally did you? I don't want to say I foretold Mr. Silky's passing, but we were looking at it was during one of Anthony's shows, and who was the other artist that passed like 2 weeks before that? Now I'm drawing a blank. And I was looking at the piece, and I said it was Jim Silky that passed, and it wasn't Silky. It was the other Playboy artist that I can't think of his name at the moment. And I was so, it was so then. Oh, Doug Sneed. Thank you, James. Yeah. So we were looking at a piece of I think it was Doug Sneed artwork, but I mentioned that I was like, yeah, Jim Silky passed instead of saying Doug Sneed, and then less than 10 days later. So yes, I'm never going to do that again. I mean, if I'm never going to try to tie anything together that has anything to do with someone passing. I hexed Jim. I did not. It was, but I crossed them up, because both those guys would always sit at, Big Wow's booth at San Diego. It's just, I think they sat right next to one another. So yeah, I got my signals crossed. I'm 57. It can happen. All right. Give me a break. At any rate, Mikhail, thank you as always. And
my pleasure. Thanks for having me. And I'm looking forward to hearing more about IC3 and seeing some people there in a couple of weeks.
Yeah, I would like to have you on after after IC3 is over. We can talk about it. I'd love to hear your experience there. Maybe we can get like Tyler on too. Maybe even Jason will join us to a little round table wrap up.
He's shy. He doesn't like to share.
Yeah, he does.
Have you sent him those signs yet?
I haven't. I got
Man,
well,
I'm gonna keep hearing about that.
No, you know what? I really need to do that this weekend, because I don't have like any art to ship. I had the Chaikin show last week, so I had stuff to ship. I don't have a sales show, so I actually have time to pack up a couple of those signs for him.
And Stingray says he'll be available to live stream from the show.
Oh, good. Well, there you go, Stingray. Well, yeah, no, we'll have an IC3 roundtable from a collector's perspective. I think that'd be great. And I think the more we talk about what goes on at that show, the better, and letting all the other collectors know, what your experience was there, and take some photos. We could actually show some photos from the show. And you're picking up some commissions, you said, right?
Yes. And I was just going to say, if anybody wants to set something up and have me pick it up, I'm happy to do so.
All right. All right. Well, I honestly, now that it's 2 weeks, but there were two artists from that one list that I thought that I'm like, well, I'm willing to take a chance.
I contacted 3 artists, and 2 of them did the pieces within a couple days.
Did you ask to see the scan, or did you say you wanted to be surprised?
They just sent them to me.
You didn't have a choice. All right. All right, Mikhail. Well,
right.
Enjoy the show, and yeah,
Have a good
definitely.
evening, everyone.
Good night. All right. It is 1 year away. OAX, well, less than 1 year away, right? The 22nd. So you can start your countdown, Tom, until next February. Oh boy. Well, thanks everybody for hanging out with us. We we got in under the wire. 2.5 hours. We're right on the nose right now, but we got 4 days off, so I hope everybody enjoys their time away. I'll drop a couple of the videos. We got the weekly flip I can post. I think I've got a couple other videos. I'll just release those over the weekend as well. So stuff will appear on the channel, but you won't have any live streams until next week when I do the show with Zadig. So keep posting the CAF. I can tell you we have been working on the app. Push notifications are almost perfect right now. We were fiddling around with a couple formatting related issues there. After that, there's only like one major task, and I think we'll be close to releasing V2 before or by the end of March. So be looking forward to that, and I'll be giving everybody kind of a list of modifications and changes that are in there. You Android users will be happy. The back button is now working. There's just been a lot of little fixes and tweaks that we've been doing on the app just to clean it up. So, and I announced it to the beta testing group, but because people have said that they were unhappy that they felt like they had to log in once a week. Well, as it turned out, Andy, my developer, had set the token length to 1 week. So when the 1 week passed, you were forced to log in again. So there's actually a way to auto renew that, and that will probably be in the V2 release as well. I won't even say probably, it will be in the V2 release. I won't let us do another release without that being fixed. And the auto renew will just make it so that it renews itself without you having to log in. So even if the token's still a week long, you'll get logged in properly. So there you go. I know that's been I think that's been the #1 complaint from the app, is having to relog in. So, oh, Matt Balmer got that's right, Matt. Matt, congrats on that, the Vader. That was, I mean, there was a lot of good pieces in the Chaikin art drop from last Saturday. The Vader was awesome. So yeah, you did really well picking that one up. And yeah, try to turn them around fast. All right, everybody, be excellent to one another. That's what Bill and Ted would say. Thank you for that reminder, Goo. Everybody have a great time off, a wonderful weekend, and we'll see you again next Tuesday. Good night.